Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the stream. It never fails. Of course, as soon as I'm about to start, somebody wants attention, so I gotta say hi and spend time with her for the next 10 seconds because she knows that it's 11 o'clock and she's like, oh, you're gonna try and like hold a stream. And all right, and now she's like, all right, I'm done with you. I just need a little bit of attention. Welcome back. Hello, happy Wednesday to everybody in chat on all sides of everything. It is Wednesday, so that means what? All right, I'm done. So that means that it is Kdog After Dark. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and switch it over so that way we can get started with that. I cannot wait till I have new snazzy things. So, woo, this is going to be so new and snazzy, and I cannot wait for you guys to see it, but little spoilers for 2 weeks from now. So, this week, Kdog After Dark. If you guys are not familiar, of course, I am your host. Woo, hey. This week, co-host down over there, undercard. 1290. One day will be actual undercard, we hope. You know, just by himself. We'll get there.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. There we go. But of course, everybody we know UC. You know, I'll be referring to him as UC throughout the show, but you guys are familiar with him. Special guest this evening on the show. I'm at least remembering. I point right. You know, it's 17 episodes later. It's like you're to the left, but I point right. So there we go. thefooltook is joining us this evening on the web show. I'll also be referring to her all night as Took because I just like to abbreviate everybody's names and give them nicknames whether they like it or not. So, guys.
Hi.
Hello. Guys, before we get started officially on the web show, kind of do a little bit and talk in that, of course, give a little rundown for those of you guys that might not be familiar with the show. This is a weekly web show that I do on the channel, have co-hosts, have regulars that come back on. That would be like Undercard this week and then special guests, Took, for example. Every week talk about gaming news, things that have happened in the week, and then also game updates, things like that, things that pertain to us in our careers, hobbies, whatever you technically want to call this thing that we spend a shit ton of money on. Things that pertain to us every week. As we're going through, of course, chat, going to be talking to you guys as well. If we don't respond right away, of course, if you have any questions, anything like that, we do see it. All the hosts, all the love, we appreciate it. We promise we see it. Sometimes you'll see us typing in chat to respond to you guys if we're in the middle of talking or somebody else is in the middle of talking. We see it, but if, you know, we don't respond right away like we normally would during a stream, it's not because we don't love you. I promise we see it, but we are doing a web show. So if we do miss anything talking-wise or question-wise, there's the link in chat, and that'll be posted up commonly throughout the chat and throughout the night as we're going through the show. Definitely hop in there into the Discord, and I'll touch base on the end. I always kind of go through and look and see if there are any questions or answers at the end. There's my normal spiel. I think Undercard pretty much has it down. He could pretty much... I'm going to start just letting Undercard do the spiel every week, I think, because he has it timed out pretty well.
I'm gonna take over.
That'll be season 2. I'm just gonna sit here. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and drink my wine during the intro, and all the co-hosts who have been here throughout season 1, I'm just gonna let them do the spiel and all that, and I'll just hit the appropriate buttons as they're talking or whatever, you know, all that to make sure.
Maybe you could just record yourself doing it and make it a button on your
yeah, just and then just sit here and just be like, like ventriloquist, yeah, you know, do it. Oh. So let's go ahead and get into it a little bit. Took a little bit talking. Of course, we met at South. That's the first time that I don't think we had ever really interacted before South, right? I don't think at all. So we just met randomly at South. Yay, convention friends.
Yay.
Which we'll see what conventions are. I don't even remember what a convention is at this point, I think, and I don't know that you know what a convention is going to be until like next year. It's going to be, you know, interesting to see how they hold up in this day and age. But of course, met at South, you and your I don't want to say better half. I don't know which one is the better half. I don't want to get in trouble. But you and Sanofa, of course, the partnership there of the kind of, I want to say stream team, but the one of a kind, the other half. I say, there we go. Let's just go with the other half. So I met you both. Yeah. Let's go with other half. Of course, give us your shtick. Of course, you know, I see you always playing Sims, you guys play Fortnite, all kinds of, I see you guys play Minecraft. Like, who is Took?
Took is primarily a Sim stream. I actually just finished the 100 Baby Challenge. I'm so glad to be done with that.
You like went like hardcore, like a long stream of it, right?
I did a 6-hour stream. Usually all my streams are 4 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and I did 6, so that was cool.
That
I
must be
play Fortnite and Minecraft, but I like the indie games as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of stream whatever I want to play.
That's I mean, I appreciate that. That's what I do also. I went into somebody's chat and we were joking last night after I got done hosting. I went into a friend's chat and they were like, yeah, anytime you want to come back to Apex and play, you know, a real game instead of Minecraft Dungeons. I'm like, Minecraft Dungeons is a real game. What are you talking? Like, I'm a variety. I spammed in their chat. I was like, variety streamer. I'm not gonna play the same game over and over. I always make that joke that I kind of have a distaste for those people that say that they're a variety streamer and then you look at their past month's history of games and it's, you know, 20,000 minutes of just Modern Warfare and that's it. Yeah, it's just Modern Warfare. And then like a web show for like 60 minutes, which is pretty much, you know, when they were getting on one day, they weren't quite ready or there was an update or something. You know, that's their variety. So what else did I miss as well? Of course, you know, Sanofa says you're the better half, so we'll say that you're the better half.
Yep.
Mom,
Yep,
correct? Right?
Yep, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy late Mother's Day.
Thank you. Graphic designer, also cat owner.
Yes.
I also have a bitchy
Yay,
teenager, female cat, who is small. So.
Which one? I was gonna say I was like, you don't have a teenager like as an actual kid. Then you said the cat, and I was like, oh yeah,
I have
a little one.
9-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Yeah, I was say I knew you had the little one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids. Oh, kids. I have a teenager that likes to wreck things as well. She's actually
we see your kid every stream.
Yeah, I know. My kid likes to wreck things, and she's actually somewhere she's not supposed to be, but I'm not going to stop all of this to go deal with that right now. So, teenagers, you know.
Congrats on the beard coming in.
You guys like this graph? Last week I named the log, the vlog of it, Attack of the Beard or something like that instead of like Attack of the Shell. Because, you know.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, that beard life. Everybody was like, even like the Instagram post that I made today, it was like I was wet sitting in the car, and like all anybody said, because also like a lot of people IRL that I know from like my real job and all that, which I got at least another 2 months till I go back to that. So, yay, full-time streaming.
Another month?
At least. It's gonna probably the earliest would be July 11th, I think they said, and I'm not going back July 11th, me personally. Some people will be, but I won't be. So I'm gonna be doing this until August and all that. Fun times. But yeah, so everybody was just like, they pointed out like it was just a picture of me on Instagram just with the beard and all. They're like, oh my god, your beard. And then people like private message you like, what's going on with the beard? I'm like, we can't have it during work. I'm gonna grow it now because I haven't been able to have a beard more than itty bitty for 10 years. I've been with the mouse for 10 years now. And shit, for the first 4 I was there, we weren't even allowed to have facial hair. So baby steps. Yeah, it used to be up until about 2014 or so, we could only have the mustache, the Walt Disney mustache. And then even back in the 90s, you weren't even have that came, you know, so then, you know, you had that a mustache or nothing, and now you're able to have at least a little bit of a beard, which is, you know, kind of nice. It's enjoyable. But anyways, yay, first sidetrack talking about beards. Anything else I missed, Sanofa? Nope. Anything else I missed, Sanofa, about your lovely better half?
Oh, I'm a graphic designer.
Yes, graphic design. So, do you do like any of that like on stream ever, or do you just?
I've done a couple of my friends' stuff. I've designed some tattoos. I do all my logos. I do all Nofa's emotes and stuff. I did this logo here. I did that cutout for you for my profile picture. So. Oh yeah,
which was nice. I appreciate that. Luckily, I have somebody that I also pay just to do that kind of stuff. So you didn't have to do that. I appreciate it. But I was like, oh, I could have even like done this, but they do all that like editing.
On a campus and like all their publications and stuff. I used to have to cut people out. I've literally had to. We took like pictures of like cows and stuff, and they had like poops. And I literally had to edit out poops.
That's awesome. There's too much. There's too much here. Obviously, they're animals. It happens, but we can't have more than 4 pieces of shit in one actual.
Poop.
Yeah.
Can't deal with it.
Yep. Too much. How did you? I always wanted to know, how did you come up with the Fool Took? Like, what's the inspiration for that?
Let's see. I love Lord of the Rings,
Mhm.
and I have Pippin here actually.
Mhm.
And the username I wanted to use had Pippin in it, and it was already taken. So I'm like, oh, the Fool Took. That's my favorite line from the movie. You fool of a took. So I made
Got
that
it.
username.
All right, there we go. Now I know. Yeah, I like it. 'Cause I would have never thought of that. Like, once you brought out Lord of the Rings and you started to say that, I was like, like it clicked in my head.
Everybody says
But
that.
yeah.
They're like, I don't know where you got that from. And then I explained. It's like, oh
Yeah, as soon as you're like, oh, like Pippin in this, it's just like, oh yeah, like Lord of the Rings. That's right. Got it. There we go. That was like the one question that I had besides everything else, was where the name came from, and now we know. And this is that fun fact of the day. Oh, this wine's actually good. BOGO Life at Publix. This stream brought to you by a BOGO Shiraz. Jacob's Creek. The one that I wanted, I went to the store to get this nice... Hey, nothing wrong with that. It's you like what you like. Exactly. I always use the example when I used to teach my like beer and different alcohol classes, but especially my beer one. I always used to use the example of, I drink very malt heavy, you know, like browns, porters, stouts, all that kind of stuff like that. And then every once in a while I'll drink sours and things like that. But 99% of the time, you know, that's what I'm drinking. I'm drinking beer. You will never, ever see me out at a bar ordering a Bud Light Lime. Like, if I am ordering a Bud Light Lime at a bar, that is a cry for help. That is my way to signal that I have been kidnapped and I am there under distress. If you see me out at a bar with a Bud Light Lime in front of me. That being said, when I'm out on the golf course and it's 100 some odd degrees here in Florida and it's freaking humid and I want a beer, I'm not drinking a brown or a porter or anything like that. It's way too heavy for that. I'm drinking a fucking Bud Light Lime. So every yeah, it's light, it's easy to drink and all that, and it's great. So whatever you like, everything has its place. If you like, for whatever silly reason, you love Miller High Life, then you know what? By all means, you drink your Miller High Life. Somebody's got to. I sure as hell ain't, you know.
No.
Oh, but that's okay. That's okay. All right. Moving right along, getting into the meat of the show. Of course, for those of you guys that have never really been on the show, of course, we start off a little bit with more kind of news segments. Then we get into the kind of more game side of things. So we're going to start off with some of the news things that happened this week. And there we go. Button. All right, first one, a little bit. We've kind of talked about this before. And I can't remember if Undercard was on the show. I think he was when we last talked about like kind of the Fortnite Party Royale kind of thing and what it could mean.
We've definitely talked about it.
Yeah. So this is like one of the recent iterations of it. So Fortnite, in their Party Royale mode this past week, had the kind of trailer for Christopher Nolan's new film. So it was debuted like on the hour in the Party Royale mode, which is their kind of social gathering thing. There's no building, there's no fighting and all that kind of stuff. Just kind of their social thing. Same place that they did like the concerts and things like that. They've also done like Star Wars, I think, but I don't think Party Royale was a thing when they did the Star Wars trailers.
No, it was the whole Star Wars event, like
yeah,
in the movie. Like
they debuted it, but
you're in there.
Yeah,
it was weird.
So this is like really the first movie debut of it in this setting on the stage. Of course, we had the concert, but this is like kind of the second thing that they've really done in the Party Royale mode since they've had it that I'm aware of. Maybe third. Maybe there's one that I'm missing, but you know, the two bigger things. We've kind of already talked about it like Undercard a little bit, but you know, Took now being on the show, how do you feel about and your impressions of the Party Royale and using that platform as a way to kind of maybe not advertise, but like debut these things? Like, do you like it? Like, dislike it? Like, moving forward, obviously this is something that companies are interested in doing. You know, is it gonna work?
Like, I understand like the idea behind it, especially with the pandemic. You know, people aren't going to movie theaters, they're not seeing trailers. It's just, it feels like it's a weird place for it to be because most of the people who play Fortnite are in the younger demographic. So it's not going to be the people who are probably going to go see this movie, especially because I saw an article for this like 2 days ago after it already aired. Like, there was no advertisement for it. I didn't know it was coming. And I'm also like, I get emails because I have the little code with Epic. So, and they didn't mention it at all. So I feel like it's cool, but like it's I don't understand why.
I'm surprised they didn't really like advertise it ahead of time because I didn't really see anything either. But of course, I don't really follow Fortnite stuff. So
when the other stuff, I didn't see any advertising for this one. Because like I even saw some stuff on like Facebook for the first one, but like there was nothing. I would have watched it. I like Christopher Nolan. But I know my 9-year-old who plays Fortnite goes into the party royale just to go like right on the ATVs. Like he don't give a shit.
Yeah, just go hang out. Yeah, and we've talked to Undercard about the mode before, that it definitely has potential. It's just, this might be a good example of, you know, maybe the potential being good, but maybe not the right direct audience.
It's definitely not the right platform, right?
Yeah, for this particular thing. And then you kind of mentioned something I had in my notes as well. Do like Undercard here. Do you think that even this right now, like Took even said there for a second, during, you know, COVID and everything that's going on, everybody's locked inside. Obviously, this is a bigger platform, but is this going to be utilized, you think, as much, you know, in the future? Once, you know, a year from now, hypothetically, is there going to be, you know, movie trailers coming out on Fortnite, you think?
Depending on the movie, probably.
Like,
I don't see why they wouldn't still utilize what they've been doing with it. I think, like you just said, like due to the whole COVID thing, I think this was kind of a way to reach an audience that's obviously hanging out in that area. You know what I mean? They got to get that exposure and that marketing going, and I don't know why they chose Fortnite, especially for this movie.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan, you know, advertising Fortnite just kind of seems off for me. But you know, maybe they should have like, you know, find a trailer, like you know, do it a loading trailer in, you know, Modern Warfare or something like that. Might
movie that would have been perfect. Like
exactly.
For this kind of crap.
Yeah, it's I mean, but I don't know, and this is just my personal opinion, but I mean, it kind of goes, you know, money talks, and it doesn't matter who the audience is. I mean, if there's a price to be paid to get something somewhere, then I mean, they obviously wouldn't have done it if it was like something completely out of the ordinary and violent, or you know, or something like that. But in this case, I don't know, for some reason they felt, I mean, but then again, also like all these concerts they've been having too, like I know these are all artists that are not, you know, exploiting like certain things that they don't want kids to see, but I mean, like a lot of these kids don't even know who some of these artists are, you know. I mean, they do.
I mean, I don't know who half these artists are. I'm moving Undercard as he's talking.
Yeah, like I mean even Travis Scott being in Fortnite, I could see why that was, because like Travis Scott was kind of going with the Fortnite thing when Ninja was playing with him, like because Ninja was playing with Travis Scott during Fortnite, so everybody knew that Travis Scott loves Fortnite, so that blew up into something. But on top of that, Travis Scott's music being in Fortnite, there's a lot of kids that like, I mean, even though they censored everything, you know, it's like, I don't know.
You could tell what they were trying to say.
Yeah, like they censor it, but I mean, it's just, I think at the end of the day, it's a platform for marketing now, and it's genius, and it's working, and I don't see them slowing down anytime soon with it, you know.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of you guys, what you guys touched on personally. I think that this is a platform that will only get bigger, and we've said it before, if they use this right, this could be the future and the legacy of Fortnite, you know, as it gets bigger. It's just, we're gonna have to see how companies treat it moving forward, especially, you know, COVID like this. But you know, if this becomes a bigger draw, you know, one day the battle royale fad will, you know, fade out. It's gonna be a thing. So I feel like at some point the game itself will fade out a little bit. But I agree that, you know, during COVID, it's odd that this thing, my biggest takeaway was that they didn't really televise or advertise this at all. So maybe Christopher Nolan only paid for it to like be played in Fortnite, but didn't pay for like the advertising ahead of time. You know, I don't know. I'm just gaffing off. But it's interesting that they didn't talk about it ahead of time as much, that you didn't see anything ahead of time and Took, because I wouldn't have, you know, at all, because I'm not subscribed to anything Fortnite, so I wouldn't know about it unless I read these articles every week. So yeah, I agree. I think that this is a platform that will only have more articles and that moving forward. It would be my guess. But yeah, that's that. Next topic. Change over my little notepad here. A little snazzy. My notes. All right. No Man's Sky. If you guys have not seen in the news this week, it is announced No Man's Sky is going to be on the Game Pass as of next month. So by my reading, that means 4 days. How many days are there in May? 30 or 31?
30? 30? I think 30.
So we're 4 or 5 days. 4 or 5 days.
31, 31.
Yeah. So I don't know. No, 4 or 5 days from now, No Man's Sky is going to be on the Game Pass, which is awesome. We've talked about it a couple times. I see. So many people are saying 30 or 30. I don't know. I look at a calendar, guys. I don't even remember the knuckle thing from elementary. I don't know. I look at a calendar.
What calendars exist?
Yeah, exactly. Right there. But coming next month, we'll just say coming June 1st, coming June, is going to be on the Game Pass. It's also going to be on Game Pass for PC as well. So when they're launching this, they're also launching the Windows PC version of it as well. A couple things about that, but we've talked about No Man's Sky. It's obviously gotten a lot of updates. Even as recently, we talked about that mech update in April that looked really cool. All of that is live there. So everything this is the full version that's coming to Game Pass. It's another big game that they're adding to Game Pass that I like. It's nice that it's on PC. The only thing that I didn't see on, and I tried to look through my couple other sites, there's no word on if when this Windows version launches on the Game Pass Ultimate, if you have that and you're downloading it on PC, like I will be to check it out. There's no word on if you're going to be able to cross-play with people on the Steam version side of things. We'll see. I don't know.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it, but you never know. They might work something. So it'll be cool to be on PC. Obviously a lot of updates. This game is so much better than it was 4 years ago. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, have consistently said that it's so much better. Of course, we all remember the flop that it was at launch, but they redid it and they made it so much better. I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to trying it out. And it's one of those that's been on my list to try, but I have so many games that I just never bought it, but now it's like, hey, it's included.
Probably going to try it. I mean, I don't know. There was a tweet that I saw from somebody I follow that said, if you avoided this game at launch because of everything that was going on with it, which is totally understandable. Sometimes you learn what you need to learn and it's just not for you at that time. But now that it's free on Game Pass, and if you have Game Pass and where it is now, it's totally worth to give it time of the day, and just give it a shot, right? So if it's on Game Pass, I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna check it out now that hopefully it's better than what apparently it was when it launched.
Oh, it was trash.
It was, yeah.
Nova was one of those early pre-orders.
Oh,
I remember watching him play it.
yeah.
He played it for like an hour and got bored.
Yeah, it was so bad. I remember watching at launch. It was so bad. I remember watching people hanging out, talking to people on PS4 and everything that got it. And I had a feeling. That's why I never bought it. I had a feeling pre-launch. I was thinking of it, but I had this weird nagging feeling because some of the stuff that they would say would kind of be a little off. And I'm like, I'm going to wait. And luckily I did. But a lot of updates. Like I said, February they had one. There's, the multiplayer is actually better. You can actually go around and see people, which you couldn't do at launch. That was one of the things that was supposed to be in there, wasn't. So it's a brand new game. I think, like Undercard said, if you have Game Pass, you have Game Pass Ultimate. It's one of those that's worth a download. It's going to be on as of next month. And like I said, it's one of these, another testament to Game Pass that for $18, especially if you're a PC person, for $18 a month, that includes Xbox Live, there's actually they're doing a good job of adding games to the Game Pass.
I think Game Pass has been a great value.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's the stigma of, I got to pay for another service, but I mean, I feel I've gotten the value out of it, especially with Xbox Live being included. Plus, I have Game Pass Ultimate, so it's the $15, which means I can access all this stuff on PC as well.
PC, and includes your Xbox goodness,
Xbox
and
Live Gold, and there's a huge library there. They're obviously rotating out AAA games. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 was on there.
Yeah.
It's like there's families or kids that have Game Pass should get Game Pass because they're going to need Xbox Live regardless to play some of the games they want to play. But then on top of that, they'll get to be able to play games that they might not have been able to afford at some point. You know what I mean? Like, you never touched Red Dead 2, but you've had Game Pass because you have Xbox Live Gold to play Fortnite or whatever. guess what? You get to play that game for free now, and that's a AAA title. You know,
Yep.
same thing with Halo coming to. It's gonna be day one. You know, like that right there is like a huge thing. Halo is gonna be a huge release, and if you already pay for just Game Pass, which is a service for your Xbox because you love Xbox, you're gonna get a AAA title like Halo to just out the gate without paying $60, like they did with Gears of War or the new one.
Agree. And like, you know, like Poseidon said about the game, I've heard that from a lot of people as well, that the game now is worth like $60. If it came out now, how it was to release, I've heard a lot of people say that this is a game that they would buy as it is right now for $60. You know, it doesn't feel like a 4-year-old game that they've tacked on to. It's actually, they took the game, they made it, you know, they made it better. It is now, if they were released today, it'd be worth what it is. And now we're getting it for free. So maybe 4 years too late. You know, some people were beta or alpha testers. Yeah, exactly. You know, Nofa.
Has it been
and
that long?
Yeah, it's been out for 4
It's an old
years.
game.
It's been out for 4 years.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I gotta go, guys.
Oh, you don't even, kiddo.
I feel
All
like
right,
I remember watching all the videos and like it coming out, and like I can't believe that much time has passed.
My biggest thing is I remember the first like day or two that it came out with all of the things that were said that ended up not being at launch. My biggest thing was I wanted from it to be able to like explore it kind of with friends. And they said, yeah, you'll be on a server or whatever, but the chances, because you're randomly spawned in the universe, the chances of you finding anybody, even if you know them or whatever, because the universe is so large, are slim to none. But you can find them. And 2 people, leave it to, you know, gamers, of course, leave it to the internet. They went and in this huge ass universe, they spent like 4 or 5 days traveling across the universe to find a planet that, you know, from one, and find a common planet, and went on it, and they were not able to find each other. So they proved that it was a lie. And that was the one thing that I remember is that
God.
they were in the exact same spot.
Yep.
Oh my
no one-
God.
yeah.
it's like, no, you
That's
cannot
ridiculous.
actually randomly find people or find people intentionally. Like, it's like, that sucks.
I think that's one of the main things I saw too. That kind of like,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a plenty of things on the list that I was like, I'm not gonna play this yet.
Yeah.
But then I started seeing stuff like that, and I was like, man, it's just, I hate it when a game drops the ball kind of like that. But now, you know, like I said, it's coming to Game Pass. If you're somebody that was optimistic before / interested, and here you are now, and they've updated and done what they've done, and now it's coming free to Game Pass, I'll definitely check it out. I'll play it.
Yeah, and it's like some of the things that I read at it, and we talked a couple weeks ago, or when they launched the update in April, that video with like the mechs and everything. I want to go around with a fucking mech and stomp on it. Like, who doesn't like controlling a giant mech? Like, I mean, it's fun. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Wants to be a Gundam.
Exactly. So June 1st, whether that's in 4 days or 5 days, we don't know. But so as of June, that is going to be on the Game Pass. Yeah, and on Game Pass on PC as well. Just we don't know if you're going to be able to play with your friends on Steam who have had the game for however long. That is to be determined. Probably not. I would agree with Took that I would wager that it's probably not going to be. Moving right along. Fucking internet. Bad guy of the week. Well, bad guy of the month, because this is not really like a new thing. It's just, it has popped up more popular in the last week or so. Fucking internet. Fucking internet. So, for those guys, the picture of this lovely lady right here is Undercard's favorite person, who actually I didn't know about until we talked about her, like, what, week 3 or 4.
Yeah,
Never had heard
I
about
was
her.
there. I didn't know who she was either.
Yeah, never had heard about her. So, for those guys that don't know, this lovely little old lady is called Skyrim Grandma. She has an actual name. I don't know what I can't remember what it actually is. Shirley Curry. Yeah, Shirley Curry. And even in like this one article that I'm, that I referenced, but there's a couple, but is one of the most pure, honest, and wholesome video game streamers around. Like and I've watched a little bit of her stuff. She's just like your grandma that bakes cookies for you, but she plays Skyrim. All right. So she has this, and it came up in the news, and she posted this video earlier on in the month, but it just kind of started gaining traction a little bit. She creates, YouTube content and streams for Skyrim, and it's more like the role-playing content of it. That's what she sits there and does. They're like 45-minute videos and that, but she'll actually like stream and everything. But it's more like the role-playing style of it. She'll use like mods to do the more role-playing aspect. Same with like some people doing role-play for GTA, et cetera, et cetera. But she is taking, and I don't know if it's done yet, but she's taking a 2-week break, and then she's taking a step back from even posting daily because the fucking internet is, during COVID, is coming in and backseat gaming her, and also like not even like trolling her like per se, but she's very annoyed that people are like coming into her chats and also commenting streams to go on like, hey, if you want to you should do this to maximize your efficiency and all this kind of stuff. So all those blueberries and all those random people that we all know that come into our stream and are like, hey, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this, why aren't you doing this? Yeah, all those type of people, they are also going after Skyrim grandma, and it started to get to her, and she said, you know, it's like, I know I shouldn't let these things stress me out, but they do. She says, from now on, I'm going to respond to very, very few comments, and she's going to be deleting a lot more comments. You know, some people more, you know, even not necessarily trolly, but some people are a little bit more trolly and things like that. But, you know, she's upset with the hurtful comments. Like, how could you go after this adorable grandma here playing Skyrim? And like, I just like, shame on you, internet. Shame.
Yeah, it's I mean, luckily though, she's got a big support group too. I mean, taking the break is good, but then I think out of this situation, she's gonna get a ton of support, and there's probably gonna be people there that'll help her. Especially if it's during live stream too, I bet you there's plenty of people that'll help, like to help moderate, you know. And because everybody knows who she is, and she's awesome. And to put it in context, I mean, she's just
she has almost a million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah,
she's 800.
Like 800,000.
Yeah.
Video games. And then on top of that, you know, she's gonna be in the next Elder Scrolls as an NPC, guaranteed.
Yep.
And, you know, like that's super cool. And yeah, I mean, I get it though. I mean, take a break, and then don't worry, like we all got her back.
Yep. And that's her. And she says, you know, closing thing on this one article is, I'm trying to get my health under control. I'm not trying to be cranky. And that just tells you, like, she doesn't want to be cranky. She wants to do this out of fun. And she also, like, is quoted saying during the video that she's worried that, you know, with all those videos that she's making and all that are 45-minute things, a lot of people, you could see the analytics and all that. A lot of people are only watching for like 4 or 5 minutes. So she's kind of taking a break also because she feels that people aren't watching. So she's kind of, you know, the same thing that I think all of us as content creators deal with. You know, it's like, is this worth it? All this time, all this effort that I'm putting into doing this, and she's making these videos and she's streaming and she's playing, is this worth it? And I think that's kind of the vibe that I get from like the video and like reading the article and her comments and everything. It's like, you know, she's you know, she's still going to come back and do it, but she's just, you know, she's taking a step back, which we all need sometimes. It happens. It does suck that, you know, you have those backseat gamers, and just let grandma play. Just let her play the game, all right? You know?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Just behind the screen, people are just
And
disgusting.
So the one thing I will say of this, and I think, and I've said it before, I think part of it is due to the COVID thing. Like, and I've said it before, and I think I said it last week, the last couple weeks, I've said it multiple times. Since everybody is stuck inside, people are getting more irritable and cranky, and we see it in our streams. Like, people are just lashing out because they're not having any, they're stuck inside, they're not having any social interaction, so they're just forgetting almost like how to behave, and they're just lashing out in streams, in chats, and things like that. They're just, I don't know. I've noticed it. I've noticed an uptick of
grumpy people.
Yeah. You know, people that don't know how to behave, of all ages, you know, people Skyrim grandma's age all the way down to, you know, kids that don't, you know, they're stuck inside, and they're just lashing out and pent up frustrations and going to say naughty words and take it out on people. So I'm hoping personally that she realizes that also as well. I think that she does. She's not an idiot. You know, she's smart, you know, little old lady that I really just want to hang out with and talk about baking cookies with.
Yes.
She's absolutely adorable. But yeah, it is disheartening. So shame on you, internet, for driving her away. But she'll be back, you know, and hopefully bigger and better than ever. You know, you get the content. You know, sometimes you need that 2 weeks off, you know, or that week off, whatever, just to kind of reset. You know, be like,
she's got medical stuff going on too. I mean, it's just you don't need to hyper focus on like if like
she
no
does
matter
long
what.
streams, so
Yeah, like
she probably needs that break.
Yeah,
it's probably more of the health thing than it is actually the trolley thing, because she already knows how big of a support system she has. But at the same time, little things do get to you. I mean, even us as streamers, like as much as we've trained ourselves to do very well at avoiding this stuff, sometimes they still
even still, even if you play it off during stream, after stream, sometimes you're laying there and you're just like, and it's still just eating away at you, and it sucks.
It's a lingering stress. If she's got medical issues going on, she just needs to step away completely to focus on that. Like,
and that's one of the things that she said. She's like, I need to focus on my health, so and that's good, So hopefully she'll be back soon. I don't know. I didn't see. I watched the vlog of it earlier today, but I don't remember the date. So I don't know if her 2-week hiatus is done now. I feel like it is, because that was posted earlier this month. But so she should be back and raring, but she's gonna be posting less, commenting less. She's focusing on herself. She's putting Skyrim grandma Shirley Curry first, and you know what? That's okay. We appreciate that. So she'll be back and better than ever. Next topic: cheaters. Long story short. And this actually just cracks me the fuck up, because I think we called this out ahead of time way months ago and all that too. So you guys remember on the show we did talk about how they moved, and you guys have seen as well, they moved a lot of like racing and things like that to online. So Formula 1, NASCAR, and all that have moved on to online. People have their rigs and everything, so it's very comparable with these simulators to the actual events, and it's really cool. We've talked about it multiple times, but this past week in the news, a couple fun things. So we have a Formula E, because it's not Formula 1 is a different section of it, but Formula E driver, 27-year-old Daniel Apt is his name. He finished third in last week's event, but he actually didn't. He actually had his camera off, and he had another esports person. I had his name, but I couldn't pronounce it, so I didn't even write it down. Long story short, he actually had an esports professional play the actual race for him in the actual league for it, and he got found out and got caught doing it, and I think that's fucking hilarious.
Really?
Because and the best part about it is that it wasn't even so he had a gamer playing this for him, and these are like actual simulators, so people who you can arguably be just as good on this, because you don't if it's actually a good physics engine, etc., in this, you can actually do just as well online or just as bad online, because these are simulators, not just like, we're not playing Mario Kart here, we're playing actual simulators. The person who found him out or that suspected it first, was the person in second place. And I'm curious how so it's not like somebody who lost to him went, hey, this is awkward. No, it's actually one of the people who beat him actually was like, hey, something's off about the way this guy's playing. He has his camera off, and I'm assuming he probably was like maybe driving differently than he normally does in other races. Like, that's the only thing I can assume. But the person who came in second actually called him out on it, and they looked into it, and he actually had this other guy playing for him. And it's reminiscent to me of mixer matchups, when you had certain people streaming during those 24-hour, 36-hour periods of mixer matchups without a camera, and it's like, yeah, we know it's not the same person playing. Come on. Let's be honest. But he was forced to pay roughly about 9,000 pounds. It's 8,900 pounds. He was disqualified and had his points wiped for this series. The best thing, one of the other things, he has since apologized, saying, I did not take it as seriously as I should have. I am especially sorry about this, because I know how much work has gone into this project on the part of the Formula E organization. I am aware that my offense has a bitter aftertaste, but it was never meant with any bad intention. You cheated! What do you mean it was never meant with any bad intention? You blatantly cheated! Like, how is that an apology? Like, never meant with any bad intention. You paid somebody to sit there in the chair and race for you while you probably went and had a drink or something. I don't know, but like Like, what?
He's so
He just-
legit.
Yeah, he didn't take it serious, and it's just kind of like a smack in the face to everyone putting it together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just like what the.
Basically.
So I did see, since I sent you guys the articles when I was refreshing and kind of looking up a little bit today, as of actually today, or it might have been like late yesterday, he actually, so he was on the Audi racing team, and actually that's why I found this picture with his Audi hat on. He has actually been fired and disbanded from the Audi racing team because of him cheating. And I'm like, karma. And I think that's great.
I feel like a lot of these guys aren't taking this as seriously because they're just like, it's a video game. I'm like, dude, you can't race. And it's not like it's not ranked. It's ranked event.
Yeah, they're and that's why we've seen a couple instances of this. Of if you're trying, like a lot of these guys, or well, not a lot of them, but we've seen a couple of these instances where they're like, oh, it's a video game, like whatever, like acting however. But these are actual people that, you know, sponsors and all that, like they're getting debuted, like they're getting airtime on like Fox and things like that with NASCAR. And that's why we saw when we talked about it before, like these people are losing sponsors. If you're not going to treat this how you would a regular race, then it's, you know, you're going to lose sponsors. You're going to, like, you're getting money, you're getting paid. If you win, you get just as much money, or maybe not just as much, but you get money. So it's still a real thing, and you're still getting your sponsorship payment for having your car with their decals on it because it's running on Fox Sports 1 on Sunday afternoon, just like it was before, you know? And I just think the fact that he got found out and has no remorse, but it's the fact that he also got kicked off the Audi racing team, just, I was like, cheater.
Yeah, I feel like the guys who got caught with NASCAR too, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't take it seriously. You're like, okay, that's not an apology.
Yeah,
for being
yeah.
an asshole.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like this is an actual, at the point where your racing like platform says, hey, we're doing this, and they're giving you points like they just normally would for, you know, any of the other cups and series and all that kind of stuff. It matters. Like you're still racing. You're just racing at home. You don't have to worry about going to the track.
Wear your PJ pants.
Yeah,
Be comfortable.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to race in the whole fire retardant gear. If anything, you should be comfortable. I'd be sitting there racing with a fucking beer sitting next to me, just fucking going around Daytona 500, fucking chugging a beer, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's the overall people don't take esports seriously thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's just they think they can do whatever the fuck they want, and then they do.
Yep.
And then they get in trouble.
And then we're seeing this right now. We're seeing it. One of the big things that I take from it is that we've seen even a couple like more retired racers come out, and we've talked about it a little bit. We've seen some retired racers come out and play because they still have their racing rigs and things like that. So, and they're still doing it, but they can't. You know, like, you know, so Nofa's saying, and that it's, you know, getting in the car and doing the G-force and doing that, like, it takes a toll on the body. But, you know, some of these guys, you know, still obviously know how to race and all that. And they're, you know, they're competing again for the first time in years because they're sitting at home in their high, expensive fucking rigs and, you know, actually able to compete. And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I'm hoping, we've said it before, I'm hoping that the esports side of this actually just pushes more and more, and we're seeing it. So positive side of COVID, but
Yes.
you know, I don't know. He just looks like a smug ass cocky kid, doesn't he?
It's those eyebrows, man.
Yeah, like I just don't know. I think
and
it's the fitted cap, like yeah, the little like this right here. I don't know. I feel like that's about all undercard can grow though,
Tony
so
Stark?
I can't say much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I
I'll
really
get
probably
that
shouldn't
if
say
I'm
much because that's probably about all undercard has, just that little patch, and yeah, so we won't highlight that, but yeah, he just looks like a smug. Like if I ran into him in public, I'd just be like, you're probably an asshole. Like I just you know,
100%.
just like one of those like yeah you probably yeah. So I'm kind of glad that he got caught cheating. It makes me giggle, and you know. Yeah, these guys, they're rigs that, yeah, they have the actual whole rig that moves, and, you know, and I've seen those at cons, and I've always been like, man, if I was a racing builder, like, if I did, like, Forza or any of those types of games, I would have that fucking rig. I used to actually, when I first started streaming, I still had one of those rigs before I got really into streaming. I had a cockpit rig, and it was great, and I ended up selling it just because as I got more into streaming, I needed more desk space for, like, my stream deck and keyboards and all this other kind of stuff. But I had, you know, a three-seat, like, you know, a actual cockpit rig that I could put like the pedals on and everything, because that's all I needed from a desk for years, and it was great. But high end, really top of the line one. I just didn't have the motion stuff. But if I did racing, big bet I would have the one that I'd fucking lean with it, and I'd have the whole fucking experience. You know, the couple $1,000 chair and all that. So it would be fun. All right, we're moving. Yeah, we're moving. You know, hey, when that $1,200 check hits, it's gonna be really hard not to put that towards a chair. I'm just saying. You know, yeah, there are things like rent or groceries I should put that towards, but I've always wanted a Herman Miller chair. And if the government sends me $1,200 randomly, it's going to be a lot of soul searching. Don't let me buy the chair, guys. Just don't let me do it. But if it happens, just be like fucking Kdog and just shake your head and accept it. All right? Just you know, just let it be. All right? So Sims 4. Cool new thing announced this week. I have a video queue up and we'll kind of watch this. Moving on into a little bit more of the gaming stuff. That was pretty much all the news-ish stuff from this week. Now we're moving on into more gaming goodness and news related to gaming side of things. Sims 4 is coming out with a new expansion announced called Eco Lifestyle. I have some more information on it here, but I figure I have the official gameplay trailer queued up here. So I figure I'll switch us over. Wait, where's... I rearranged. Hold on. There we go. I rearranged my stream deck and I was lost for a second for this thing. So, I don't... So why is that a thing with Pixel's things? Does anybody know? I need to ask him. If the source isn't active for whatever reason, it always just delays all embers. So it's going to sit here and do that for a minute. I'm just going to have to...
Okay.
Just like the ember alert. Like, yeah, if it's not... If you don't... Because I don't have it active in the web scene. And I just visualize, but yeah, it like I made it. Yeah. Anyways, that's weird that it does that. I've noticed that before in this. I always forget if it's not showing on that scene, it will pop up later in another scene, like it's queued, like it's like a printer waiting to be like. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, when you turn on your printer.
I didn't know that, so now that I know.
Yeah, at least for me, the way that it automatically gets set up. Yeah, if it's not on there, it's like, you know, printer queue. You turn on your printer and 16 fucking people from your office, all the shit they were trying to print spits out. Anyways, Sims. New official gameplay trailer.
Beautiful evergreen. Harbor? What happened to this place? Do they actually like living like this? You go to university for a few years and the whole town falls in love with trash. Okay, that's happening.
There we go.
They may be okay with it, but I know we can do better. I just have to show them how. First step, reduce my eco footprint. Solar panels, wind turbines, a few more updates, and I'm off the grid.
Make you guys a little
Feels
smaller.
Better already. Now the hard part. Getting my neighbors to want a cleaner, more sustainable city too. Fortunately, my buddy Knox is a real
what just happened?
advocate
I don't
for
know.
the eco
That was weird.
Flex, I know,
I got
but
huge.
Yeah, that was weird.
he's done some great work pushing neighborhood action plans, like a water shutoff day. He's a little hard on you if you don't participate, though. Sorry, Diane. Knox is campaigning to change this barren lot into a community garden. He's got big dreams of growing sustainable food, like vertical gardens that take less space to grow more, or harvesting insects for a crunchy alternative to meat. But it's not up to him. It's up to the people. And it looks like they voted for a community makerspace. He'll get over it. A makerspace is great. We don't have to throw away everything just because we don't want it anymore. Upcycle it. I love me some homegrown, ultra-organic, fresh farm-to-table fizzy juice.
Fizzy juice.
And these hand-dipped artisan candles are selling faster than they burn. All these makers have gotten the attention of the local entrepreneur.
Some of these things in this video just look
She's asking
so...
others to invest in her next big venture.
Just like everything else in Sims where you just go like, that could be taken so wrong.
Products that help move the world toward a brighter
100%.
future. She recycles
I'm
found
still
objects for
thinking about the
parts
very
and
beginning.
then
I
uses
watched two
this
people jump
awesome
in a trash
fabricator
can
to
and make love.
This thing is fire.
I want them to be able to put that bag that you saw on that one guy's head. You know, just if you can put that on somebody before that happens.
I mean, is it just me, or does it seem like they could have gotten the point
Her
across without
inventions are
throwing those
going
two
to
people
make
in a
this
trash
community
can?
a beacon of sustainability.
Fornicating in
Interesting
Big
places
changes
to
can
make
start
whoopee.
small.
Yeah.
With just a little
There's
effort,
a bush.
you can impact your
There's a
world
whoopee
too.
bush. And a closet.
Yay.
Yay.
So as you saw during that, guys, a little bit more information, but Eco Lifestyle, the new expansion coming out, Evergreen Harbor is the name of kind of the new community area. For the first time, from their saying, first-time players will have a direct impact on the environment around them. That's one of the big things about this. This is something that they've, I guess, kind of battled with the idea of for a while. This is the first time they're really implementing it. So as you saw, and it can, well, I'll get to that in a second. As you saw, they interaction with your environment as well. Things like gardening, we saw that, you know, renewable energy, recycling, solar power, etc. But you can also have the adverse reaction as well. You saw kind of the more trash-laden area. So depending on some things that you're doing, you can have like trash on the ground, smog-covered neighborhoods, things like that. They gave an example of if you want to do like the whole launching a rocket from your backyard, it's probably gonna fuck up the area around you and have an adverse effect on your community a little bit.
I want to launch a fucking rocket.
I know, but it's going to affect the environment. So, but I mean, that's kind of cool. They're basing it on also a little bit having multiple, you know, like multiple neighborhoods, multiple communities. Obviously, a lot of people who play Sims, and we'll let Tooks here talk a minute since she's a Sims person. I'm just laying the groundwork here to just let her talk. But they, you know, this is multiple playthroughs type of thing. You can kind of go more industry sided. You can go more, you know, green sided. And the goal here is not to preach one way or the other. They want people to be able to pick their own, you know, path or whatever. They're not hurting you into one choice or whatever. But they, you know, it's focused on this eco footprint, which is one of the new tracker things for it that tracks both you and your community as well, and how that affects. So kind of in a, you know, a faster time frame, how things that you do affect the environment. Just give you a little synopsis of it. One of the quotes that I liked was, "We were really excited to make a world with more grime in it," and I thought that was hilarious that they were like really excited for that. But yeah, June 5th is the launch of this expansion. Took, what do you think? Tell, as a Sims person, are you excited?
Sims person, I am excited. So the Sims community is completely and utterly judgmental of everything that they release. Any packs, they're too expensive. They don't want to spend money. I have pre-ordered it thanks to my community donations. So, but I think this is an interesting additive to the simulator because you just played the game. It's kind of one-dimensional. I think this adds a lot of dimension to the game. People, the replayability will add a lot. And so they've added this eco stuff, which is cool, but they've also added a couple of things that Simmers have complained about in the past. Like in Sims 3, we had bills and different bills. So now they're going to have it where you can break down bills. So there'll be like water, so you can see everything that you do, like getting off the grid and stuff. So that's always been an aspect of
and that will actually also kind of like drive you and your play style. And when I was reading through that, if you want to, you know, maybe your bills are heavy in, you know, electricity or whatever, that might drive you to go more solar. Or if you want to play the other way, start selling your own fossil fuel coal plant or something, you know, whatever, to kind of negate those bills a little bit.
Yeah, they actually did a live stream of some of the playable content on Twitch a couple days ago. The Origin did, and they're adding firefighters and apparently criminals and a bunch of stuff that people liked in Sims 3 into this one. So I think as far as the expansion goes, this is one of the first ones I've been excited about. I have all the big expansions. I've spent money, and I feel like this is the first one that I've pre-ordered that I'm excited about. Most of the ones are just, ooh, what kind of stuff can I get with it? Like the gameplay doesn't matter.
It gives you like costumes and then like normal, but nothing like that changes the game. Like
they've had magic, they've had vampires, but it's not adding to the game. I feel like this will make the game a different kind of Sims game.
I agree with that. I definitely enjoy seeing more actual simulator stuff like added to it than kind of the mythical stuff, right?
Yeah, I feel like they put a lot of thought into this, not only like what they wanted to do, but like pulled a lot from what the community does, because Simmers are very judgmental about what goes in the game, especially when you get a little bit of content for $30 or $40. They want to see a lot. They don't want to just see a new island.
Right.
Yeah, it seems that a lot of expansions, all like you're saying, seem to be, for lack of a better term, more cosmetic, which, you know, Sims is a cosmetic-looking game. You're doing the same thing, but this seems to, like you said, add a whole nother level to it.
Yeah, they're adding 2 more jobs, a civil engineer job and something else. And then forget what the other stuff is, but yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I can't wait to play it in what 4 days, 5 days, something like that.
June 5th. So
Okay.
depending on how many days are in May, we haven't figured that out yet. Nobody tell us. Nobody actually look it up. We're just gonna keep going with we're just gonna keep going with however many there are. But June 5th, however many there are plus 5 days is when it comes out. I'm
excited to stream it. And have fun with it, especially after all those babies. I need something else.
Yes, yeah, your 100 baby challenge. I'm excited to come by and check it out because I personally, Sims is one of those that I haven't played since Sims 2. I think, and the only reason I played that was because my girlfriend in like high school or college at the time. I can't even fucking remember
most of
when.
The gameplay is 80s.
Yeah,
but I've had people come in streams that are like kids that are getting into it, especially like the building aspect. I think is important for kids and stuff.
Yeah, and I see
the themes are adult.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out. Like you, and then the only other person I ever see, like I've seen JoJo, obviously, who sometimes co-host. Like I've seen her do Sims, and she just like recreates her house. Pretty much, like
I don't
down
add
to
any personal aspects to mine.
Yeah.
I want to live outside.
It's like I don't want to.
Because like I do the personal thing. Like, I mean, I don't know. I've done both, but like genuinely, the last time I played The Sims, which was this one, I think right when it came out, I recreated my apartment and my roommate and everything, and just I don't know. It's just like weirdly interesting to do that.
Especially
I know what you
if you have a family and you get with a lady, and then you break up with that girlfriend, but you're in The Sims and you have like 6 kids already. So
all right. So it sounds like my life. Like I mean, what are you trying to say? Like,
make your.
I think it's cool when people design houses though and stuff. Like they really go all out on that. And I mean, The Sims has always been cool to me. I think the last time I really played The Sims and I really was obsessed with it though was Sims 2. That was like the one that I really, really liked, and I always played it.
Sims 2 and 3 were good. The community hasn't really liked this game, even though it exists, but I still play it. I have over 4,000 hours in it, so.
Why do you think people don't like this one as much as like the original?
You know how people are. New games come out, they complain that one thing was in the old game, but not in this new game, and they want that. So I think it's just people will bitch about anything.
Right.
Yay,
like,
internet.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it or something. It's like it's just,
once again, internet, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Fucking internet.
Sometimes you can't capture lightning in a bottle again, and but I mean, that's with any game now. I mean, look at you got new games that are coming out like Halo or something. Even though it's still Halo and we're still getting Halo, it's gonna be like we're gonna.
Oh yeah, you're still gonna get those true believers who are gonna bitch about.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna have a problem with something, and
oh yeah.
And yet, on the other side, like with Halo, with Halo, I'm gonna be so happy if they like upgrade the matchmaking, because I'm one of those when Master Chief Collection came out, all I did the whole time was bitch and going, this so feels like 2000 multiplayer. Like I was so upset, like I can't jump like I can't slide, like it was just, I'm like, can we update this, please? Like, can we get a new multiplayer matchmaking? But you have all those diehards that just have to have their Halo 2 multiplayer experience, and I'm like, we've moved on from 2003, guys.
And things, especially like with Halo and stuff, things have changed so much since the last Halo came out. Like the way people play games and stuff is completely
that's the thing
different.
It's like let's
so they
embrace
can't re-release the game.
Well, just from a business standpoint, it's just not always within the business interest to like keep things exactly the same. Like you gotta change, you gotta experiment, you gotta try new things. I mean, because the thing is, if you don't know what someone might actually end up liking. Like I think sometimes like new things that are added are the things that end up becoming the most popular, but people are so terrified of those things being introduced. Like
yeah, well, I always use Fortnite for that example. Fortnite, I think, still 100%. Is the best in the industry right now. They change and adapt. I don't play the game. I like Fortnite. I just don't like the building aspect of it. It's not for me. But I will say the game as itself they have the best team for trying out new ideas. If they work, they stick with them or try new things. If they don't work, they get rid of them. If they see other games with ideas, they adopt them into their game. Like, from a business standpoint and all that, like their model is on lock, and they update it. The best game, right now for that.
I say the same thing all the time. Like I said, it's just, I think I know a lot of people talk shit about Fortnite, and they like to, like, essentially talk shit about it.
Yeah,
actually
it just for-
satisfying to
Fortnite,
literally
yeah.
vocalize.
Yeah, it's just
And I
like,
mean,
yeah.
I get that, but
It's like hating Nickelback, you know? It's just one of those things like people, it's
Right,
cool
but
to
I
do,
listened
you
to
know?
Nickelback back
Yeah.
then. Like, so it's like,
they
as much
have
as if it's
lots
a
of
meme
followers,
now,
who
I was
plays
there
it? Who
for it. I
watches
was in the
them?
element.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was just, it's, I don't know.
What
But
did
yeah, I mean,
Nickelback ever do to the community, all right? Like, I don't know what they did. Like, I mean, I don't...
Kroger had his beautiful, beautiful long hair.
I guess, I don't know. Like, like everybody just all of a sudden, like in 2000, I don't even know when, like all of a sudden, like after I had to have at least been in college, because still, even through high school, everybody still liked Nickelback, I feel like. And then all of a sudden, maybe in late 2000s, I feel like there was a meeting that I missed out on, that the general public was like, you know what, we don't like Nickelback anymore. You know, and like...
Nofa's White. It was Dark Horse. They released an album and it was terrible, so everybody hated them.
I don't even remember which album that was, so maybe that's
I
what it
think
was.
just the internet. I think time has passed, and I mean, in reality, we live in a time where the internet will literally change perception.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and you
Yep.
can be popular for so long, and then
Yeah, I
Well,
think that's what it is. But I mean,
once upon a
it's
time, we
just a
we
good
just
example.
indulged in what we indulged
Yeah.
in, and there was no perception changing and no heavy influence of anything.
I still every once in a while will sing like Animal in my head, and I'll be like, and then like half of me goes, fuck, I'm singing Nickelback, and the other half of me
yeah,
goes, I
100%.
like this song. I liked this song when it came out, when I was in like middle school or high school or whatever the fuck I was in when it came out. And I'm like, oh yeah.
What, that was
I don't-
2002 when like Nickelback got big. I have
So high school, yeah. And I was
Yeah,
just like,
same.
yeah, it's like, okay. You know, you know, so it's like, do I go with the internet where we hate Nickelback nowadays, or do I go, I actually still kind of like this song. I know all the words to it. Like, you know, I don't know. You know.
But I like, leave me alone.
Yeah. The
You
two
ever
sides of my
find, like,
brains.
your old iPod or something. and
God.
you end up going through it.
Oh,
It's
God.
like. It's like you
Well-
look at it and you go, man, I love this thing. But if I
Yeah,
tell
I
anybody
went
how
on
much I
a
love it, they're
Pandora
gonna
a couple
hate
weeks
me.
ago, and I had been on there since the early thousands, and I had like Nickelback and Avril Lavigne and Blink 182. I'm like, what?
See,
what was I listening
the
to?
only thing redeeming quality for me is that majority of the stuff I listen to hasn't changed. Like, I still sit here and
No.
listen to fucking Real Big Fish and Blink and, you know, all my ska and punk and all that alt rock
changed.
from the 2000s. Mine's pretty much all the same. It's just like Nickelback. There's one or two things that are like, but everything else, like, I'm
Listen
sitting
to
here
so much
listening.
Nirvana.
Yeah.
So much Nirvana.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not ashamed to say that when I would get on the bus to school, that I was genuinely excited
Cranking.
to put Blink 182 CD.
Oh,
into my
fuck yeah,
CD
dude. I
player
still
and-
get excited to put on
Yeah,
Blink
like,
182.
It was like when I was so proud of that thing, and then I still remember getting excited of buying a new
Yeah.
CD player. You know,
Animals.
like,
Yeah, it's
it's
so
just-
true. And yeah, like chat says, yeah, I think they just got memed to death. Animals was a great fucking song. I still sing it. Still pops up everywhere. That and what was it? The Rockstar song. That's the other one or whatever.
radio hit.
Yeah, like pops up into my head, and I'm just like, oh wait, I'm singing Nickelback. Like I'll start to sing it like on stream in my head, and then I'm like, wait, I'm singing. I don't want to bring this heat on me right now. Hold on, let me not vocalize what I'm singing in my head. But yeah, Fortnite, great. Getting a little bit off topic. Long story short, getting back on topic. Sims 4, June 5th, new expansion that brings a lot to the game. Took will be playing it. I look forward to seeing it. Honestly, I won't get it myself just because I'm not going to download just to play this expansion. But I will come hang out and watch if I get up at a reasonable hour, you know, before I do my thing. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to see how it plays. It really does, like Took said, it looks like they took a lot of time, took a lot of community feedback, and also this seems like something that they wanted to do for a while, is having more of a world impact. What things that you do, not just affecting like in your household, but affecting the environment around you. And I think this is something they've wanted to do for a while, and they're playing it out and getting to play it out a little bit more moving forward. So that'll be fun. Moving right along. Why do I have this up next? Oh, never mind. Ignore me. Ignore the host. I'm talking to myself. Borderlands 3 DLC announced. Little bit of thing before I even go any further. If you guys want to watch, there was the reveal for it. The whole their little web show that every company does at this point when they reveal things, that 45-minute goodness. That is linked in the Discord if you guys want to check that out. And again, of course, that's also if you guys have any questions or things that we miss, put them there in the Discord. But that video is there. I didn't see anything that was worthwhile like pulling out of it, just rather than just talking about it. But Bounty of Blood, new Bounty of Blood, A Fistful of Redemption is the official thing for the 3rd DLC from Borderlands 3. New planet, new town, new enemies, a whole new enemy gang called Beast Riders, new vehicle that is motorbike-like. And one of the unique things, as opposed to the first 2 DLCs, which were fun, is this is going to be a totally new cast of characters as well. So we're not going to have, this isn't going to be, the DLC is not based around characters we already know from Borderlands 3, whereas the first 2 DLCs kind of were. This is going to be a whole new cast of characters on a whole new planet. There might be some cameos because it is Borderlands. Let's be honest. They're gonna have cameos of characters that we know, but the main story and everything is gonna be a whole new cast. The inspiration for this DLC is coming from Wild West, as you could tell by that image right there. Magnificent Seven, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, all of that kind of good stuff. Releases June 25th. Still no word on fucking crossplay between PC and Xbox, though, and that still pisses me off because that was supposed to be at launch and it's still not a thing. That makes me sad. Very, very sad. I don't know. I don't think Eddercard I've ever asked. Have you ever been a Borderlands person? I don't know if you've ever really dabbled.
I own it.
Give it
I
credit.
play it.
I enjoy it. I think it's cool. See, the thing is, we talked about this. It's like I played so much Destiny that when it comes to like kind of looter shooters, which I know Borderlands still has differences and things about it. Like, I think it's just, I don't know. I love the humor about it. I love the style of it. I think it's a very in-depth game. For some reason, though, I've just never been able to just heavily dive in. I know when like the first one and the second one came out, it was like really popular, but that was because of the multiplayer essentially. Like a lot of people I knew were really enjoying it. It was just a totally unique experience at the time. Because Borderlands came out before Destiny ever came out.
Oh, yeah. Long before. Borderlands 2 came out before Destiny came out, I think.
Right. And that's... So I definitely knew people that were, like, really into Borderlands, and they totally told me to play it. And I played a little bit of it. Played some co-op with people. I totally enjoyed it. But after being so, like, into Destiny, it's like when I play Borderlands, I get this weird vibe that I like Destiny's style better. But I respect Borderlands. I respect its humor, its little nudges and content, the way they do it, and they heavily support the game too.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. Like DLC is great. Like I've always said that Borderlands is, to me, it's a game created by gamers, which not all games are. You know, you can tell. This one always seems like the jokes, the inside things, like they definitely, it seems like these are guys, girls that play games, play their games, watch these geeky things, pay attention to geeky culture. And that's what I've always loved about it. All those little Easter eggs, all the little fun little things. Like that's one of the reasons I've always loved Borderlands, just the humor and everything else. And you said you have it, but you've never really played it? Oh, you're muted.
Enjoy the gameplay.
Oh, there we go. You're good.
Okay. I like enjoyed the gameplay and stuff, but like the other 2 games were like full games when they're released, and I feel like the DLCs come out too often, and I don't want to sit there and buy every single DLC.
Gotcha. Yeah. I would say that the good or bad thing I would say in counter to that, maybe not in counter, is that some of the DLCs definitely are not worth it. But I think that Borderlands is one of those that, even though, yeah, they have a lot of DLCs and all that, Borderlands is one of the few games that I would advocate getting like a season pass for, because the DLCs for every game, for 2, they didn't really have much for 1 that I remember. I think 1 came out long before DLCs were really a thing. I think they may have had like 1 or 2. But they seem to at least have the content to make it worth it. Did 1 have 4? I can't remember. I'm old. We'll just say that I'm old. Yeah, no, it did have 4 because the last one was the Atlas. It had the Atlas Vault thing, was one of the ones on 4, and then Torg and all that. Yeah, see, so many games. But I will say a lot of times, like, it's one of those, like, I don't advocate getting season passes, like, ever, because 9 times out of 10, the content that you're getting after launch, you're never going to touch, or it's not going to be worth it. I would say generally, from my experience, Borderlands is one of those that the DLC afterwards has been good. It's been good story DLC, even if it's like, you know, kind of like waves of stuff. Borderlands 1. That's right, because Borderlands 1 was the one that had the zombie content, right? Yeah, the first expansion with like the zombie, and it was just a whole new area, and just the zombie haunted kind of area was great. And it's a way for them to add to the game and continue that humor and continue either story or other things, and it doesn't feel like cheap like some DLCs do, if that makes sense. And I won't say that about many DLCs, because I do not advocate DLCs a lot of the times, especially season passes. I will never buy a season pass for a game before it comes out, because 9 times out of 10, by the time expansion or DLC 2 comes out, I have 5 other games that I'm playing, and I'm not going to touch it, like, realistically. So it's just a waste of money, and I think it's a cash grab, because most people don't go back, and maybe you're getting a couple hours worth of content. But
I mean, if you're really like, if it's like I don't know, like if I'm like super fanboying, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's certain things. Yeah, your family like get the deal, you know, the season pass or whatever. But majority of the time, I've found that it's a waste of money. And I tell people all the time, like, hey, a disciple, love him, and he gets these games, and he's like, yeah, and I bought the ultimate edition that comes with like the season pass and all that, and I'm like, you're never, and he plays it like that first week we play it together, and then that's it, and I never see him touch the game again. You know, there's a lot of people that like that, and that's where they get that money. You know, but
some I'll do it, but not every single one. Like,
I'm still disappointed in Borderlands because of the crossplay. It was something that was supposed to be there at launch, and it still has not been a thing. And that I will say still drives me nuts, because part of the reason I have not dove back into Borderlands since like it launched and all that is because I want to play it with people, but a lot of people have it on Xbox. So I want to be able to play it with a couple people in my community and all that, but crossplay has not been enabled, and it's been, I don't know, it may have been 6 months. I don't know when 3 came out. I feel like it's been 6 months now since 3 came out, and we still don't have crossplay. So I will say, wag of the finger, Borderlands. To do that was Stephen Colbert, right? He did the wag of the finger thing on his thing, a wag of the finger at certain people. But yeah, June 25th, if you guys do play Borderlands, new expansion. Also, they did tease in their web show, though. If you guys want to watch the whole thing, like I said, it is in the Discord there. If you want to watch the whole reveal of it, and they kind of talk a little bit, and they show you all the things in it. They do also tease DLC 4, and that is they teased it with an image, and it has Krieg, if you guys remember from Borderlands 2, the crazy psycho that you could play, like the bigger psycho guy. I loved him as a character. His reveal and his intro movie, everything about Krieg was great. It seems like, and rumors have it, that DLC 4, along with this image, is that you're going to be kind of playing inside of his head, which is going to be fucking hilarious, because he's kind of a little fucked up, because he's a psycho that has an internal monologue, because he knows he's still cognizant enough to know that he's going insane as a psycho in Borderlands, but he still has that internal monologue. So actually, I think the idea of playing inside of his head is going to be great. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, and they tease that, and that's what the rumor mill seems to be for that. Next, gaming-wise, Minecraft Dungeons. Long story short, Undercard, have you played it yet?
I did. I played it last night.
You played it? What did you think? First impressions.
I think it's cool. I like it for somebody that's played Minecraft. I think it's cool, like a little iteration using Minecraft's assets, if you will. And I don't know, it was cool. I mean, I liked your title, you know, Diablo 4 or Alpha build.
So funny thing about that, my title, and I was actually gonna bring this up, and this is like goes back to something we said earlier, and I didn't want to say it with people on the internet, just whatever. I actually had somebody come in and unfollow me because of that. They actually wrote in chat, they were like, comparing Minecraft to Diablo, that's fucking ridiculous, and unfollowed me. Which it wasn't somebody that I even recognized their name, so I'm not losing any sleep over it, you know, whatever. But I thought it was like, one, it was a joke, but it was just like, do you not get the joke? Like, so for those of you guys who don't realize, a little brief synopsis: Minecraft Dungeons is on Game Pass. It's on Game Pass PC and everything. It's Diablo light. It is a dungeon crawler light, and it's fun. likes and dislikes. Like it took what did you I know you've played it. I know Nofa's played it. Like you guys came in that first night, you said that you guys have played it a bunch. What have you liked and disliked about it so far? I don't want to go through my list. I'll let you guys like
You know, and I don't understand the Diablo thing. Like literally everybody I talk to were like, "Hey, it's Diablo."
yeah,
Like,
it's a dungeon crawler light. Yeah.
I liked it. It's fun. I haven't played Diablo probably since like Diablo 2. I missed 3. It looked lame, so
Diablo 2 is always the standard. 3 was okay. 3 was just 3.
3 was too different.
Yeah, 3 was 3. Everybody's still like the standard industry, the industry standard, and still everything we all hold it to is always Diablo 2. Like, I mean, it always comes back to Diablo 2. So
I think the only I have fun with it. It's really fun when you play with other friends. So I quite like that. I wish it was crossplay, but it's not yet. So
which
who knows?
That's what
on that note,
would have been.
so it was supposed to be, and there were articles leading up to it, and I was excited for it. It was supposed to be crossplay at launch for Xbox to PC, with Switch and PS4 coming later. I don't know when that changed. Everything I saw leading up to launch said that. We tried it night release and it did not work, still has not worked. And since then, it now has been said that that will be coming later. But I don't know time frame wise, but initially it was supposed to be for Xbox and PC. We were supposed to have crossplay enabled, and then PS4 and Switch would be added on later, but it's not, which is very unfortunate.
I think the only thing I really dislike is the random drops of everything. Because like I went through like one part of the game where I didn't have any armor for like 2 dungeons because I didn't get any armor drops. So like, I got 6 crossbows, but no armor. It's fine.
I'll do that. I will load through a dungeon. I'll be like, oh, I got 17 hunter armors that I don't want because they're all just fucking common level. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
What about you, Undercard? What have you liked or disliked about it in your first couple hours?
Like, I definitely would only play with friends. I don't see myself just playing it, you know what I mean? Like, definitely played it last night with Charlie, Don, and Tight Kid, and it's the only way I would play it.
And I think that goes into what I was going to get to, but I'll forget by the time we get around to my thing of it. I would say because it's Diablo Light, the lack of story, which is on my list of things, the lack of really story, since it is Diablo Light, is very much just you go there, you click on things, and like that's it. Like it's fun, but since there isn't really, whereas like Diablo, like you could play by yourself because like, oh, I'm doing things, I'm doing quests, I'm doing, you know, I'm actually, you know, I have a reason to be doing this besides just clicking on things and killing them and getting loot. Minecraft it's a very simple dungeon crawler that if you're not playing with friends, I think it's gonna get very boring very fast.
How much is it without it being on Game Pass?
20?
20, yeah.
20 or 30. I think it's 20. I want to say.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. I mean, I agree that anything could always have a little more of this, a little more of that, but I mean, for what it is, I think it's just something in that universe of things that people already love, which is Minecraft. Love, and it's just a cool little, I mean, we all played it probably because it's on Game Pass and everybody gave it a shot and we're all mildly enjoying it, if not really enjoying it. And I think that's just that alone is good enough for me. You know, I mean, it's not something I could say, I wish they had more of this, more of that, because then I would keep playing it. I think it's just like Minecraft. I enjoy Minecraft for what it is, but I don't play it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, but apparently I'm going to, because now I want to actually play Minecraft.
I will say, and I said that as well, and not that I want to play Minecraft. I didn't say that. I did not say that at all. But I did say that I think if you do play Minecraft, I'm sure there were probably things that maybe you can testify to this. When you were playing through, I'm sure there were things like, oh, that's cool. Like I recognize like these little elements to it, like maybe the buildings or things like that. Like the redstone, I think like that's a thing, like with the redstone quarry or the forge and all that. Like, isn't that a thing? Like that's how you make like circuits and all that. Like,
would be cool if they were interactive.
Yeah, but
so make armor on there.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like yeah, and that's one of the few like dislikes that I have is that because it's so light. I feel like I think there could have been just a little bit more to it. I would have loved a little bit, just a little bit more. I'm not saying it's still Minecraft Dungeons and all that, and I get that it's like, you know, dungeon crawler Diablo light, but just that little extra. Give me, you know, a little bit interactive, like you're saying, where that it brings in that Minecraft universe where you're using those, you know, what they're redstones, or wait, is that what they are? Redstones, yeah.
They had some like where you make like armor and stuff. They had some of those on there. I can't remember what they're called right now.
Yeah, but like little elements like that to like bring in the Minecraft user, but bring in like, let me make armor. That's where we like maybe not a crafting system, but something different. Like it's very simple. Like, which is good, but almost too much. So that to me, it falls into my both category. I have a list of likes and dislikes talking about it. That falls into the both. Like, it's good that it's simple because it's bringing in a lot of people, like we talked about before it came out. It's bringing in a lot of people that may not have ever played a dungeon crawler before, may never have played Diablo, maybe haven't played Vulkan or RuneScape or any of those games, and they're getting an idea for what these types of games are. And that's great. But for those of us that have played them, like just that little, I'm not asking for a full-fledged out quest and story. Just no. Give me a little bit extra besides just running around and clicking on things and random drops. Like just that little bit of, you know, interactivity, uniqueness, something like that. Like, you know, but like Undercard said, at most it's a $20 game if it's not on Game Pass. And I think value-wise for what it is, and I think that's what I have to remind myself of. This is a $20 game. It's almost like you have to think of it like not quite an expansion of Minecraft, but almost like it's not a AAA developed game.
I mean, it's the first thing they've done with acquiring Minecraft.
Yeah.
You know, because like they acquired Minecraft, and Minecraft has stayed Minecraft, and they've made it super crossplay and everything, and yada yada. But they've not taken Minecraft as like an entity and made something else with it, which they did this, which was cool. You know,
I will say it's nice that it's different.
I don't think I ever plan on seeing Minecraft be like this, you know, or doing something like
this. This was a nice, and that's the thing. So especially for $20, it's on Game Pass. I've been telling everybody for 2 days, download it if you have Game Pass, whether on Xbox or PC. It is definitely worth the download. It's fun. Definitely play it with friends. I agree with that. I don't like even the little bit of like I said, the pros and cons and all. More the dislike part of it itself would be the story side of it. Even the little bit of story that they have, because I've played through now, I finished the story. And I say story because there's really not. There's an intro video. There's a little bit of talk at the beginning of each little like area, but it's really not a thing. Like I feel like they could have done a little bit more there. Even for like a $20 thing. Like there's
so much lore in Minecraft.
Yeah,
itself.
I feel
there
could have been something easily a little bit more that I think that was where that is like an actual dislike for me. Like I get the simplified thing, but the story side of it, I think because they have like they have the actual like not single player, but don't they have like an actual like Minecraft game
Minecraft
and
stories,
lore?
it is single player.
Yeah, like so they had areas to draw some of this stuff from. Like maybe not give quest givers, but they could have. You're not playing this game, and the story you don't really know. Like there's no facet of there actually being a story or what you're doing. All you know you're doing is you're going around, you're clicking on things and killing creepers, and you're collecting better gear. You have no like, okay, you're supposed to kill this one guy, kind of. Like that's kind of the story, but at the end of the day, it's really no different than any other level. So that I think they fell short on. It is very short, but once again, it's $20, and they're banking on the playthrough and the different difficulties. So take that as you may. My biggest thing as a streamer is that you cannot close lobbies. And that, I think, is a huge oversight and drives me fucking nuts. I think...
Oh, you can't make it, like, private?
Nope.
No, you can't.
There's no way... If anybody is on your Xbox friends list, if you are not playing with the full thing, they can jump into your game.
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I think in this day and age, like, that is... Just such a no. Like, you have to know, obviously, like streamers, everything else. Like, even last night, I'm happy that crossplay isn't enabled, just because I was able to say all last night when I was finishing it up, be able to say, because I had all those blueberries coming in, can I play, can I play? And I was like, I'm on PC, sorry. I was able to actually say that, and it was great. But that I cannot believe that was such a huge oversight in this day and age. Like, that is my biggest drawback and dislike of this game, is that you cannot close lobbies. Like, there is no reason for there to not be like an invite only or a private lobby in 2020 in games. Like, I don't understand why that's a thing.
We'll probably get a hot patch on that. Like,
yeah, like it is such a big no-no. Like, I mean, like, you got to know, like, you know, especially like, you know, this is a Microsoft game also, and then you have Mixer platform, which is pushing it mainly. Like, it was the biggest game on Mixer on Tuesday, like when it came out and all that, because, you know, partly because everybody played it and all that. But still, it's like, you have to, you know, in this day and age, if I don't want to play with somebody, like, I get that, like, a lot of us, like, a part of the thing about Minecraft is, yes, playing with friends, but if you don't want to play with somebody, the fact that they can just jump into your game willy-nilly, yeah, you can kick them, but they could just keep jumping into your game and keep rejoining. Like, that's a huge, like, I cannot believe that did not get caught anywhere.
If that's why they don't have crossplay.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm perfectly happy staying on PC, because that was my go-to response last night. It's like, can I play? Oh, I'm on PC. Sorry. Oh, I'm on Xbox. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. You know, and I love saying that. Cheers to all you blueberries out there. Sorry, I'm on PC. You shouldn't be in my channel anyways, because it's 18 and up. But yeah. Likes though, not to hate on the game. That all being said, especially for $20, this game is fun. Play it with friends. Fun, simplified design, very good intro to dungeon crawlers. If you're not used to them, it's easy controls. You know, you don't have to worry about skill sets and spells and all this kind of stuff. You have 3 items, and then you have your gear. You don't have to worry about respecking you know, just all your items. That is one thing I will say that I don't like a little bit, is that the skill system, it's good and bad for what it is, the way that I have it set up. So you don't have like a skill tree or anything. All of your skills as you level up just go into your items and the enchantments thereof. But that makes it hard if you want to try out a new build. You have to get rid of your old items. That way you have the ability points, which kind of sucks. It's like, okay, I don't know if this is better or not until I enchant it and see if it's better, but I can't test it out unless I get rid of my current weapon. So it's good and bad, you know, for the system, for what it is, as simplified. I think it's probably the best iteration it could be. It just is what it is. It's, you know, just my own personal, like, it kind of sucks that I can't be like, oh, I think I like this bow. It might be better when I put these attachments on it, but I won't know until I disenchant or get rid of my current bow, whether I like it or not. And if I don't like it as much, well, now I'm fucked because I'm stuck with it. But, and also the art style, or not the art style, but the game itself looks great. It really does. You know, Minecraft at this point is becoming just an art style. I get that it's very, you know, Minecraft, very simple graphics. I would have loved if they integrated the RTX update into this, but, you know, we'll get there. That would have been fucking great. It would have been, I would have been like so ecstatic. But, you know, we can hope maybe in the future with updates. But it looks great in the art style that it is. There are little animations. There's a lot of little things. And those are the things that I'm very picky about, that kind of stuff. I look for those little animations and things that obviously these developers and these designers spent little time doing these animations and making them work. And just little, you know, stuff that you may not notice if you're generally playing. I look for those little tiny things. And there's a lot of great little animations. I mean, sword swings and bows and all that kind of stuff. Even though, yes, it's a blocky art style, but Minecraft is an art style at this point. The animation of the characters, the enemies, everything, the ragdoll animations, like it all plays well. It all flows very well. It's not glitchy. It's very seamless. It looks great in the art style. And I will say that was one of my biggest takeaways. It's a great looking game in this art style.
Yeah, it plays well. It plays well for what it is. Like I said, I booted it up, and within 5 minutes, I had, you know, whatever, 3 other people jump in with me, and
yeah,
we just ran through. I learned as I went and had a good time, and I'll probably play it again, and you know, just kind of go from there. But I definitely dug it. I mean, I don't know if I would have got it if it wasn't on Game Pass. But then again, I don't know. You know, maybe I would have.
I probably, personally, I would have, because I was like looking forward to it. I was like, okay, you know, Dungeon Crawler Light, I've been looking forward to something a little bit for $20. Now, if this had been $40 at launch, you know, outside of Game Pass, this isn't a $40 game. $20 easy. Like, I think this is a $20 game. And it's a great $20 game. And I think that's what it is. That's what it comes down to.
I'm glad it's only $20. I was like, because when I asked you that, I was like, oh, he's gonna say like $40.
Yeah, no, I was pretty sure it was 20. I was 99.9% sure that it was 20. Yeah, that's it. Any other remarks about Minecraft Dungeons?
I think it's good. I know a lot of parents play with their kids. And,
that is another thing I meant to mention.
That.
Yeah, it's a great. It's something that, you know, you have those older, yeah, and that you figure a lot of older gamers and all that have kids. Action RPGs and all that, like Diablo and a lot of others that are out there that have since fallen to the wayside, but Diablo's the most proliferant. When we were all younger, like those were games that we played a lot growing up, because that was like the big style of game. You know, like BRs now, they'd had a huge genre. So this is a way that, you know, those adults can play with their kids, because it's a very family friendly game, but it's fun. It's an action RPG light. You know, it's very easy for if you have younger kids, you know, maybe not teenagers, but if you have like the single digits, the 8-9-year-olds, things like that, like they, you know, and they play Minecraft, this is something that you can play with them and bond with them. And that is definitely a huge plus to the game. As Minecraft, the kiddos love that also, as is.
They already love it.
Yeah. So it gives a nice little touch into that. Undercard, anything else? Oh, wait, you're not here. Moving right along. Outriders. So very simply put, not much in the way to talk about of it. But I want to mention it tomorrow, 5/28. So later today, if you're on Eastern Seaboard like myself, 12 p.m. EST is going to be the Outriders, the first like #1 kind of gameplay broadcast of Outriders. I have the little teaser thing for it here. We'll be talking about it next week on the show. But if you guys are interested in checking it out, 12 p.m. EST has more gameplay reveal of it that they're excited about. Just a little simple thing. I'll let it play.
The Outriders broadcast, a monthly show where you're going to see new areas, new enemies, new guns and gear, and all new features and details on this dirty and desperate sci-fi epic. Premiering Thursday, the 28th of May.
Yeah. Little simple teaser trailer for it. Like I said, it's tomorrow at 12 p.m. EST. I'm looking forward to it. We've talked about this on the show before. I'll talk about it next week. We'll recap what they talked about, but this is a monthly thing that they're going to start doing up until the release of the game. To me, it looks like Destiny, but better. It looks like all the things that I want from Destiny are actually going to be in this game, and I'm very hopeful, because we've talked multiple times about how I have a love-hate relationship with Destiny. So this game, yeah, exactly. We're not going to get on that topic again. prior broadcast, go hit up the YouTube, like find wherever it is. It happens every couple shows. But I have a love-hate relationship with Destiny, but this looks a lot of fun. We've watched the videos on it before, the teaser trailers. Tomorrow, we'll talk about it next week, but tomorrow is the first live stream, the kind of state of play type of thing for this game. Looks like it's going to be Destiny with a little bit more of an RPG element to it, which is exactly what I want. I want gear. I want all that. So I'm really excited about this game. So I just wanted to point this out for everybody that this is happening tomorrow. If you're not doing anything at 12 p.m. EST, hit up the link. It's in Discord there for you guys as well. The link is there. Go give it a watch, or just wait until next week when I recap it for you guys as we sit here and talk about it. But, you know, if you want to watch it for yourself. So
I just rewatched again. I'm definitely interested in the game. Is it what all is this game coming out on?
It's coming out on everything. But the new generation.
Okay,
New generation of stuff. I mean, we could rewatch the video. Were you not? I can't remember what shows you're on.
I stepped away for a second. I just watched it right now.
Okay. Well, I was saying I was saying like the actual. If you guys aren't familiar with the Outriders show or what we're talking about the game, I was saying we can watch the reveal trailer was what I was gonna say.
Oh, gotcha.
Of it. For those guys don't know, so if you are not sure, it looks like a lot of fucking fun. There's an ad, so that's why we're not going there quite yet. I'm just waiting for the ad to. All right. All right. So I'll play this and then I'll take my step away for a minute so it times out great. Yeah, and now we're their final call, but tomorrow is their first thing of it. Like I said, check this out. If you guys haven't seen it, we've talked about it. I'm really excited for this fucking game. I cannot wait. Long story short, humans, Earth, if I recall correctly, Earth is kind of like dying. Humans go to another planet. There's a storm. To survive, they pretty much, because the storm has biological effects and yada 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 yada. Either way, if we stay out there in the elements, we're gonna fucking die. So humans, to survive on this planet, we go into deep sleep. We come back out and slowly we start having abilities because the environment, because we were in deep sleep for however many years, started implanting those in us. I'm very briefly synopsing everything. There's a whole rundown on a previous episode. I'm just trying to give you a brief synopsis of the game for you guys if you haven't seen it. But we come back out and we're kind of as a species, we're fighting to survive because Earth is dead. This is like where we go, and for us to survive, and then we slowly start embracing and adapting to the new planet and the new climate and developing these new abilities. So one of the questions that they stem, and I think it's towards the end of this video, if I recall correctly, it's like, what is human? Because it's like, are we still human or are we a new species because we have started to become what is on this planet to survive, kind of like we've had evolutionary changes. So I'll play this and let this go for you guys, because I think this is the one, if I recall.
We awoke from one nightmare into another. Not on our dying Earth, but somewhere much worse.
Good guys are day one. A good guys are one night brings the fire. Good guys are day one. Good guys are one night.
We came to Enoch as our last chance, a chance at a new home. But what we found didn't save humanity. It consumed it. We awoke changed. The anomaly unleashed within us. Burning with power. Impossible power. Enoch robs us of our humanity, yet gives us so much more.
That guy kind of has my haircut. I'm getting there. Now that I'm out of work. That undercut. I can't wait to go to the barber. I'm just going to make it the true undercut. Fuck it.
What we must become.
Yeah, it's coming out on everything. Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen, that's that. We've talked about it before, but the state of play comes out tomorrow. I'm really excited about this game. Like I said, I'm really hoping this brings everything that I liked from Destiny, but my love-hate relationship with it. It looks like everything that I've seen so far. It looks like they're bringing more of the RPG element to it, and I'm really fucking excited because that's what I hate about Destiny, is that it's not just enough RPG, and I've said it before, so I'm really fucking excited about this game. And that video, and every video I've ever seen about this game is just fucking hype. Like, I don't know.
It looks really cool. I like the style. I like everything about it. From what I've heard, you know, multiplayer-wise too, it's fun. So I'm definitely, it's got my interest very spiked, and I'm interested to learn more about it.
Mm-hmm.
And everything Square Enix releases is beautiful and well thought out. So you know it's going to be good.
Yeah. For sure. Oh, wait, that's not... All right, I'll worry about that after the next one. I just noticed one of the links that I have up is not the right link. Anyways, it's okay. It's not the next topic. It's the topic after the next topic, so it's all good. Last of Us. If you guys did not see, today? Yeah, it was earlier today. Last of Us State of Play. Of course, Last of Us, we are in less than a month. 6/19. A couple different things about it. 6/19, the game comes out. They had a State of Play for the game today. Link is in Discord as well if you want to watch the full thing. I will say something when I was recapping and watching it. The first 20 minutes are hey, we're not live yet 20 minutes, like starting soon. So it's a 40-minute State of Play that 20 minutes of it is a starting soon screen. So that made me giggle because good job, Sony. Nothing like keeping everybody waiting for an extra 20 minutes. And actually, the broadcast and all that is great because that's literally what they have saved. You would think they would save the broadcast with only like a minute of the State of Play and then like go into the actual stream. But that's neither here nor there. Last of Us 2 comes out 6/19. State of Play was today. Couple things about it. If you guys want to check it out, the link is there in the Discord. I don't want to give away any spoilers and things like that. The game looks great. There's a lot of great things from the State of Play. I watched a little bit of it, but I myself also, I want to experience the game firsthand. We're less than a month out. I'm excited about it. One of the main things I do want to talk about that I linked to these guys as well with Last of Us, more so than the game itself, is actually the social media side that Naughty Dog and all that is taking, and something cool that started last week with it. Of course, a lot of us know that Last of Us 2 had issues with spoilers on the internet, which I steered away from because I know how to navigate the internet. But some people don't. Some people just whatever. I don't know. Like, I just don't click on the link or whatever. I don't know. Like, whatever. I stayed away from anything Last of Us 2 because I want to, experience it myself. But some people were not so lucky. And also, like, there are people responding, things like that. So, one of the cool things, Naughty Dog actually worked with Twitter. They were actually utilizing, as of this last week, something that started, is that they are working with Twitter with a new tool that allows accounts to choose who is allowed to respond to certain tweets, which is something that I think is really cool for the platform moving forward. Something that might even be used down the road for right now it's very select. It's just a couple of people that are trying it out. But it is something that, the platform is testing that maybe all of us can use down the road. And what I mean by that is it's restricting, so they can release a video and you can restrict who responds to it to different levels. You can have it set to everyone, people you follow, or just people that you mention, which is helping, the reason that they institute this is to help from spoiler-wise. So that way you can't have like somebody responding it to it and say, hey, so-and-so dies in episode 7 on, Game of Thrones. I don't know, whatever. But it's a cool new thing that Twitter is trying out that I personally think should be adapted as soon as possible. Maybe not for us right away, like as content creators, so we want everybody to respond. But I think for social media sides of bigger businesses and companies like Naughty Dog, like movies, like things like that, I personally think that this can only help them. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I like it. I think it's a good feature.
Yeah. I think especially for like businesses that are putting out, hey, look, here's our newest ad, and then it's just everybody in the comments bitching about how they suck, so the company sucks. So
Right. And then that's more of that kind of forced perception on new people coming across that information and that marketing. You know, it's like people sometimes, a new game or a new game developer could start up an account, start posting game stuff, and there could just be so many people talking shit and being trolly that it makes that whole post, I don't know,
Yeah,
just
it
not
looks
get
rough.
as much traction as it should, you know. Yeah, like
Yeah.
So,
Which, I mean, you could go
it's
through and
definitely
delete, but it's hard to do that, you know, unless you have somebody that's a social media manager and that's their job. And then even then, if they're going through and constantly like deleting, it's rough because people are just reposting. So
you should be allowed to do something like that on a social media platform.
Yeah.
If you choose to just not want to have comments and things on there, like I think that should totally be on every platform. I mean, even on Instagram, I think you should be allowed to just be able to make a post and turn off comments, right?
yeah,
Like,
YouTube has been doing it for years.
yeah, YouTube has been doing it for years, and I think it's only, you know, I in case you guys can't tell out there in the audience, I like to pose questions that I already know the answers to because that's what I do as a host. But you know, that's my job as the host. But I agree. I think this is something that is overdue for Instagram, Twitter, etc. I think this may have come about maybe because Naughty Dog had such a big leak, and since this is such a big game and all that, they might have pushed the platform more so. I don't know how long Twitter's been working on it, but honestly, things like Twitter and Instagram, they should have had this for a while, in my opinion, the ability to just turn off comments, because the internet can be toxic. Like, if you just want to get something out there as a company, as a brand, and be like, hey, this is the new thing, and you don't want comment, you don't want people, like, you know, not necessarily even like ragging on it, but just if you're debuting a new commercial, new whatever, it's like, here, you can do that. The fact that my biggest thing that I take from it is that you can have it only people you follow or only people that mention, so you don't even have to completely restrict it to comments. You can just have it be like, oh, I tagged Ninja in this video and Ninja can respond, you know, or whatever. Like, I think that's, you know, I think that's the coolest thing, and I think that's all social media, you know, Instagram, like Undercard said, should have this. It's way too late coming. YouTube's had it for a while. It needs to be sooner rather than later on all of the social media platforms.
Doesn't really make sense of why it's not there.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I mean, honestly, it probably has something to do with algorithm, you know, like that's probably what it is. But I mean, like, in reality, if you have something where you can post stuff, you should just be able to choose that kind of, like, something like that, especially something
you
where
know,
there's to
your
be,
friends,
you
like,
know,
only friends can respond. Like I said, like, you can set it the way that they have it set up right now, and this is not live for everybody. This is just a system that they are testing out. But the way this, you can have it set where only people you follow, which, especially as a gaming company, like, that's a good thing, where it's like, okay, only, you know, most of these social media, like, these gaming companies, say it's Naughty Dog, they probably only follow 1,000 other companies or things like that that aren't going to tarnish their own reputation. Like, you know, Joe Schmo in the middle of fucking Arkansas is going to trash talk this video, but the actual Arby's social media account isn't going to. I just literally pulled those two out of my head. I don't know where Arby's came from. I don't know. Their fries are great,
I think
but
someone's hungry.
yeah, I don't know. Their fries are real. I like their fries. They're curly fries. But I don't know. But like, just for example, like, I think that's cool that you can have it where only people you follow can comment back. I think that will probably be my main thing going forward, personally, as well. If they adopt this throughout, because I don't know, like, you have people that, you know, are trolly for no reason, that, you know, other be trolly. Like, as content creators, we want to leave it open, but the internet is the internet. But especially for bigger companies, I think this is a long overdue addition to Twitter, which, for whatever reason, I still don't quite get it, but Twitter is the end-all be-all social media platform. Twitter is what every other company and everything else, like, it bases off of your Twitter presence, and I don't understand that. I don't know, but it's a thing. It's for whatever reason.
like I said, it's just something that should be implemented everywhere. I mean, especially from a business standpoint, from, you know, I mean, if you're somebody that has an account and you enjoy that interaction, you enjoy those comments, and you enjoy those algorithms playing out the way they do, that's fine. But I mean, from a business perspective, I wouldn't mind following you know, like a game developer that every post they make, they don't have comments on any of their posts. I just want to see the information they're trying to show me. Yep. And I can like it, because a like is no big deal. You know, you can, I mean, like if you
click
add,
on the
like,
heart.
likes and dislikes, maybe that could become a problem, because people don't want to see a bunch of dislikes, you know what I mean, or something. But if you can just make it just a like or just a share button, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a like and a share button, whatever, you know. Yeah, the heart and the share button, just as is, just no comments. I think that's, if for companies, all these bigger companies, I think that's a lot of them and how they should go for certain things. Maybe not all the time, but I think that this is a needed addition to social media.
Yeah, it definitely should be. I mean, I'm pretty sure, wasn't Instagram talking about getting rid of likes?
I don't know. I don't use Instagram nearly as much as I should.
I
posted a photo today. For the first time in like a month. I'm terrible. Well, I mean, part of the thing, like, one of my like goals was to get better at Instagram because I'm terrible at it. But I hate taking selfies, so that's part of it. And the other side of it is, I have nowhere to go or do anything. And in the current state of the world, I don't like taking selfies, so pretty much I have no
Just
like
take pictures and
content.
take that.
That's the only thing I can figure, because otherwise it's just me sitting here taking a picture in front of my green screen, and at that point you guys are watching my stream either way. So like I don't like my Instagram is barren at this point because I'm not able to really go anywhere. I'm not able to do anything. At least before I was able to take pictures of like food and other things when I went out like dining and all, or like me like dressed up at a nice restaurant. Now it's just like, well, I'm back at my desk again drinking wine. I don't know.
Take a picture
I think
of
my
it.
biggest problem with Instagram is I can't post from my computer, which is where I'm
Dude,
at.
that drives
I
me
gotta go
fucking
put it on
nuts.
my
I
phone.
cannot stand the fact that Instagram does not have integration on the PC. Fucking drives me nuts. Because even if I like take a picture with like my webcam, like I'm sitting here or whatever, and this is a much better camera that I have linked up to my PC and the cam link and all that than my cell phone. I do that, then I have to literally save it and then like send it to myself in an email, open it up on my fucking phone, and then post it from my phone to Instagram. Like, come on.
It's a pain in
Come
the
on.
ass.
Bullshit.
You're not wrong.
Bullshit. Long story short, we didn't really get off topic there. It's just the other side of the topic. Last of Us 2. I have the link up there in the Discord, guys. If you want to watch the full state of play, it does come out on the 19th. The other half of the reason we were talking about social media, if you're just coming in, is because they were testing out this new social media way of doing things with Twitter and partnering with them for lack of, or eliminating comments and things like that. But also they did have the state of play this week. So if you do want to watch that, the link is there in the Discord. Skip the first 20 minutes because the first 20 minutes is nothing. It's literally like their starting screen. But if you want to see more of the game and what the opportunities there are of the game, definitely do that. Personally, I kind of skimmed through it a little bit, but I didn't want any spoilers. There's not really any, but I'm personally one of those. I like to experience games 100% full on, both with stream, with myself, everything. So I kind of stay away from it. But if you guys want to see more about how it's playing and all that, their state of the game from today, I do have linked in the Discord. Moving right along to the game that I started on stream way back in the day, and once upon a time I didn't back before they ever had partnerships with Mixer and all that kind of stuff. And then I had to move off from, hey, Clipper, what's up, Clip? I had to move off of Smite because they didn't sponsor them nearly as well. I'm just going to do this and wave at everybody doing the Clip raid because it's going up in their chat. What's up, Clip? So Smite update is going live. I'm going to pull up the video here really quick for the teaser thing. Couple fun things about that. Hold on. Wait. Where is it? I had to pull this up while we were talking here.
That picture's pretty cool.
Dude, the picture is great. The picture is great. If you guys don't realize, and I'm going to do this right here, and I'm going to do the announcement for it. It's an awesome video. I will talk about more here in a minute. I know not everybody's Smite, but of course I still have Smite people and I still like to talk about it. I still play it every once in a while. It's how I got started on Mixer. I wish Smite had been bigger platform on Mixer when I got started. Hey, you guys did a great job. We're just hosting a web show. You guys did great. You do good job. You do good job. We appreciate you. You do good job. Just gotta keep the content flowing. Nah, thank you guys for the raid. We appreciate you. No. Smite, of course, something that I started with, so I always have a love for Smite. I wish it had been bigger when I first started. I had to branch out more, but I was a Smite only. Before I was a variety streamer, I streamed Smite 5 days a week. Way back in the day in early Kdog. But yeah. New goodness coming out. That's my favorite thing about this whole video, and that's where that like image is from. It's just Zeus standing up to fucking Cthulhu, and I'm just like, that's like how small he is, and just going like, obviously the Smite lore, like they have their own thing and yada yada yada. But just
So I
him
don't
like
play Smite.
standing up there to Cthulhu, just going like, all right, bet, like, you know, let's Lovecraftian versus, you know, ancient, you know, pantheon. You know, Greek, Roman, you know, depending on, you know, or Zeus or Jupiter, whatever you call them, you know, which pantheon, like who's better? Like, you know, I think it's a great reveal trailer for him coming out. I have a couple things I'm going to point out here. Of course, I know I'm the Smite person here, so I'm going to be talking mainly. But for those guys that don't know, it is Smite. Cthulhu is supposed to be coming out, I believe, mid-June, around my birthday, mid to late June. He's the next god coming out. God. For those guys who don't know, gods are the characters. MOBA. Oh, excuse me. But it was revealed this past week with him, and that teaser trailer was, I think, yesterday released. 26th, 27th, yeah. Because Stormy sent it to me yesterday. So, new character. Couple cool things about him. If I do this, I'll just bring this up as I'm talking. No, that's the thing. He is fucking huge. Like, I have also the link for you guys who like Smite. I have it in the Discord as well. So all these kinds of things, like if there are more than we're talking about here, like I kind of give you guys the Reader's Digest notes. If you guys want to dive into these videos, like all of these developer videos, like we give you the Spark Notes during the web show. All of these are listed in Discord. I do that every week. I thought I hit the button. There we go. There's the link. So this whole video, this is an hour and 13-minute like reveal for the new skins and all that kind of stuff coming out. This is his artwork and everything else. He looks very interesting. If you haven't played Smite before, even his kit, we're up to like 110 gods now, which some of them are heroes more than gods, but you know, they're all still called gods. This is his artwork here. As we're going out, he is fucking huge though. I just have this. This is their whole reveal thing. So this is his character model. Looks. I'm gonna mute them because I don't want to listen to the developers talking about it. Which, although I will say Isaiah and a couple of the others that I met at South, that if you had been there, Undercard, I would have like introduced you to, because a lot of the guys in this, like I was hanging out with at South because they're good people. That's neither here nor there. Yeah. I was hanging out with so many different people, but that's when I wasn't hanging out that one night at South. It's like, oh, I'm at this place hanging out with fucking Smite people and Smite developers. But yeah, so this is the character model for Cthulhu coming out. The next god to be released on Smite. Couple cool things. I have some notes here, but with this, if you look at his character model, like right here, like this is him. These are the actual character models of like Odin and the normal other characters you play. Like, he is that big. He is the biggest character in the game. He is over like twice the size of all the other gods and everything in the game, even standard. Like, this is just him just randomly going down a lane in the MOBA wise. He where's my next thing? So 52. Let me see here. This is his size in the game, and that's one of the things they want to build on there, because we all know, like, Cthulhu wise, Lovecraftian, he is huge, up in the clouds, yada yada. Which, you know, we also have Jormungandr, which is the snake from Norse mythology. He's in the game as well, and his ult is huge, but he's even bigger than him. His character model, I think, is just as big, if not bigger, than Yormi in this game. So it's very interesting how they adapted him. On a smaller level, they added on one of the cool things, for if you guys like Smite, 54. Might be a little bit later. All right, so this is one of the things. I might undo this. For you guys that play Smite, cool thing, his passives and all that, because Cthulhu is very much, you know, you go fucking crazy, like, if you see him or whatever. Like, the whole thing is about, pretty much, if you're a Cthulhu person, you're kind of insane. Long story very short. Cool thing that they're implementing into this with the play style and everything is that as you go insane, they do the example here, you start seeing all these other tentacles and everything in your game. And this is just you as a player. So if you're going against another Cthulhu that does this to you, like, this is your play area actually starts getting tentacles and everything in your world, and that's what you're seeing. And I think that's really cool. That's something that's never been done in the game before, and I think that that's something that I don't think that any other MOBA or anything like that has done, that a certain character's abilities have affected your world, besides just like a simple blind or things like that. Because
do they do anything?
These tentacles and anything don't do anything, but those are just visual. That being said, what does do stuff is that there are audio cues that you will, if you're insane, like right there, it goes away because they canceled it out because they're just doing the dev stream. But they do talk about how if you are in that insane mode, which lasts for 20 seconds, if you do go insane because of Cthulhu and his passive, you will start also hearing things. So you will start hearing other enemies' ultimates and things like that. Enemies that aren't even in the game. So you'll start hearing like ultimates from like Mercury and all these, like you'll start hearing random sound profiles that even aren't like in that match from different gods. So you'll just start hearing things, which I think is really fucking cool. You know, that they bring that in. It's like, okay, oh, I heard a Mercury ult. Fuck, I need it back. And then you're like, wait, no, there isn't a Mercury in this match. Like, it's a really interesting way. Like, obviously Smite is looking for ways to differentiate and, you know, add new content. But that making it insane is, I think, cool. Like, obviously you have this visual aspect, but all of a sudden you're going to be hearing enemy actions that aren't actually there, because you do, especially in ranked and things like that. When I used to grind ranked, you go off of audio cues, hear things in the jungle, hear things like that. So imagine fake audio cues like that. That's a huge thing, you know. And then you have all these little like tentacle things, like all that there. The ultimate, like when you said like if he's that big in game, I want to see. So he goes up here. I have the number for it. That's just the sky, whatever. I want to see. They show him as an enemy. It comes live later in June. Naughty. I think it's June 25th, it said. I thought I had the timer. All right. So, oh, I went a little far. So it shows the enemy. That's how big his ultimate looks. That's how big he looks during his ultimate in game, when he's actually in that form. So they embodied that whole, hey, he's really big. He's always coming in through the clouds in Mythos Lovecraftian. He's always coming in through the clouds. So that's like how he looks. Playstyle wise, when you're up there, this is how it looks from your end. You're literally just casting shit down. Yeah, from the heavens. Like, and it's cool to see like both sides of it, how big he's really going to be. And you can still damage, like you're attacking his base if you're a damage character, but that's the two sides of it. there, how, you know, how he looks. And I think they did a interesting, a good job bringing this character into the game. It's interesting to see how he plays. I'm not going to get into, I have the links in my Discord and also in there if you guys want to go into like what his abilities do and all that. I'm not going to do that during our talk show, but those are already live as well. He has a whole separate set of abilities when he's in his ultimate than when he does normally. But yeah, he gets big. He goes full on Cthulhu when he's in his ultimate.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, it's a very cool addition to the game. I'm excited for him. I wasn't Baba Yaga the last couple ones like wasn't as excited for, but he's a big character as is, and then even in lane when he ults and all that is going to be cool. But for those of you guys that know Smite and all that, he's not necessarily a stance switcher, but he's kind of like Cthulane where he has, and that's the I will say it's going to be very annoying as a Smite person with all the fucking and all these fucking names that are exactly fucking similar, because now we have Kukulkan, Kukulane, Cthulhu. I think there's another something. I don't know. There's way too many with the same fucking style of names, and it's very confusing. But it's exciting to see how they're bringing him in as a new character, as the next god, and just how big that they're playing him out. And I'm excited. I still play it every once in a while. I like Smite. It's how I got started. So I always will have a fond place in my heart for it. So I don't know. That's just me. Wow.
Yeah, I just noticed actually, it says there's a battle pass. So I'm assuming you're...
Oh, well, yeah, I actually haven't bought the battle pass in like a while. They added that like recently, so I didn't have the trailer. I didn't pull that up for like, but they're ending out this season with like a snazzy, like a final boss thing, and like Cthulhu, I keep on saying Kukulane now. Cthulhu is like going to be that final boss, and that's kind of like the teaser trailer kind of thing as it builds up to him being released. So that's like the battle pass right now going into that. But it's funny because like we have all these big characters. Like I just want to see. I really not mean as much to you two because you don't play Smite, but some people in chat might recognize like a Yormi ult plus a Fenrir ult plus fucking Cthulhu ult, like all the big characters that take up the whole screen, in game, like all at once would be insane. I feel like the game's gonna lag, but I will laugh because of it. So yeah. Either way. Thank you, Clip. Thank you for coming by. So we have extra time talking about it. So I said I was gonna nix that, but we have time. So let's go ahead and talk about it anyways. I nixed it because I didn't think that we would have time. I don't know if you guys paid attention to the other thing, but
I saw something.
we missed it. Yeah, as we were like loading. Either way, I don't have a thing for it because I got rid of it. So we'll just leave it on this. But we've talked about it a little tiny bit before. Something that did come up in the news. I'm not going to edit it to fix that. Either way, something that did come up in the news also recently. A game that it had more gameplay that was revealed. And I can pull these up now since I wasn't doing it. It was something that, for time-wise, I kind of nixed it from this web show. Something that we briefly talked about before, which is the Ascent, which is a new game that is going to be coming out, a Series X launch game that looks really cool. Since we were talking about like Minecraft dungeons, like as being a Diablo light, the Ascent is pretty much going to be an actual Diablo style game, but just as things have described it, a Judge Dredd meets Diablo. So you have like guns and things like that. So you have an ARPG. Recently came back up in the news because they had a little bit more gameplay released, things like that. I can pull up. I didn't give me 1 second, guys, because we weren't going to talk about it. But news timing wise, we have a little bit of time. Has the gunplay and things like that, but then armor as well. Also like looted, just like Diablo where you have gear sets and things like that. Gameplay, Series X launch title. So the premise behind the story, if you guys don't remember me talking about initially, is that, and that I like, is that you're not playing a chosen one or anything like that. You're playing pretty much an out of luck or down on your luck handyman who pretty much has to survive in this scenario, which is, you know, the corporation. This is a cyberpunk style almost game where you all live in this massive building. That's why it's kind of like Judge Dredd, this massive building city. And the corporation that owns that building actually has gone bankrupt. So now just kind of everything's going to shit. Long story short. So you're just an average manual laborer who is surviving in this scenario, and then that requires you to kill people, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so you're just an average person, and then you end up building up your arsenal, building up armor and getting guns and all that, and there's totally different levels of this building that you're playing through that have totally different environments, so you don't really feel locked in. I've watched a lot of gameplay for it. Don't really feel locked in. It's cool in that regard because I think it doesn't restrict you in terms of when you're playing co-op, because it is going to be up to 4-player co-op, like a Diablo type of thing, where you don't have to worry about being the chosen one. Why are there 4 chosen ones? You know, like this is just like, oh hey, we're all just 4 handymen who group together because, you know, workers union. You know, that type of thing, you know, which makes it a little bit better storyline wise. It makes it a little bit easier as you're playing on that. Which video? Let me find. I had one earlier, but since I decided to nix it, let me pull up the reveal trailer here. But like I said, I've talked about it once before on the show a while back when it was first mentioned. We've had some gameplay and we talked about it a little bit. But it popped up back again with the news. It has more gameplay out there, more news about it. It looks like, in lieu of, it's going to be a balance between Diablo 4 and Cyberpunk. You know, it's, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. So if you want to, I think the gameplay, I'm not sure if I put this one in the Discord because I was going to get rid of it for the talk show.
Did they
but
show this during that Xbox stream?
I think they did, and I think that's one of the recent times we mentioned it, because this is going to be a Series X launch title, so I think they did talk about it. But I didn't watch this. I didn't watch the video when I was talking about it with JoJo. We just talked about it again.
Okay.
So we haven't actually watched this on the stream yet, even though this is like a 2-month-old video now.
The Ascent Group arcology on Velas has shut down. If the latter is true, corporate ground teams will already be moving in. This is a crisis supernova. The Ascent Group has collapsed. We have a shot at true independence. I won't let it go to waste.
We wish to test your abilities by giving you a special assignment. Find out what happened.
It looks like we're gonna have to work together on this one. Let's get it done!
So this is, like I said, pop back up in the news again. Going to be one of those games that debuts on the Series X. I'll be playing it on PC because, you know, PC for life. But it is a debut launch game on Series X. Shut up. Don't laugh at me, Undercard.
I can't with you.
I mean, the Series X is going to be great, but it's still going to be, you know.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I
So
understand why you say
It's yeah. Like I said, we've talked about it before. I don't want to go like too much into it so much, but it did pop up back in the news again. This is one of those that until Diablo 4 comes out, especially, I feel like this is something that after I play Cyberpunk, I'm gonna probably play this because this is gonna like be that intermediary game between Cyberpunk and Diablo. Like, because Diablo 4 isn't gonna be out yet, you know, and I feel like this is a good balance between the two, you know. It has, you know, the gunplay. The main thing that I see for it that is interesting is the fact that, and ARPGs always have an issue with gunplay and balancing. And so I'm curious how they deal with that, honestly. And, you know, because, you know, bows are easily able to balance, like, you know, speed-wise and everything else, I feel like. Like, guns, just for whatever reason, and ARPGs have, like, a hard time. The couple that I've played that have, like, guns, they just always have a hard time balancing those style of, you know, thing. I just don't get it. I don't know.
I'll check it out for sure. I mean, it looks. I like that style, the way it looks.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be fun, like especially like playing with friends and BC. Yeah, it's gonna seems interesting about like how they're gonna do classes and stuff. So
Yeah, and
I feel like I could play with a bunch of friends together.
The only thing that I'm worried about is, you know, we got more gameplay footage of it. I watched some of that. The only thing I'm worried about is I'm apprehensive because this is a developer that this is like their first title, which don't get me wrong, like that's, you know, that's great for them, but if you search this game on the web right now, it took me, like, when I was trying to find more information, I've seen this, but I was trying to look up a couple things to figure out if it's going to be crossplay, things like that, and I couldn't find out. It took me a little bit of digging to actually, like, find the website and find this and that. Like, and I'm pretty sure they're a European developer from what I saw. This is, like, their first main title. And that could just be from them as a platformer and them as a company. It seems like a game that it doesn't seem like a first try out. So I feel like it has a lot of developers and people working on it that have worked on other games from all the gameplay and everything I've seen. But as a development company, this seems to be their first big title or first title. So that's the only thing I'm kind of apprehensive about, because it's very hard to even find information about it besides, you know, IGN articles and PC Gamer articles and Xbox articles and things like that. Like actually going to a website and actually seeing their news and things like that. So that's the only thing that makes me apprehensive about it.
What other games have they done?
I don't think they've done like any, like when I look to their, like
so
I
this is,
like
their
like this is
first
like the first one that like I didn't see like really, like this is their website says the Ascent, like their game design studio, it's this game, you know. So that's why I said it seems like this is their first big game. It's Neon Games, I think it is, if I recall correctly, like Neon Games or Neon something. Hasn't really, their whole website is just, hey, this is the Ascent, you know. We'll see. I really hope, because it looks like it will be a lot of fun. I really hope it does well. I think being a launch title with the Series X might actually even help it more than anything. So maybe people will buy it with their Series X and, you know, play it either way. You know, maybe it can be bundled in. Yeah, maybe it'll be on Game Pass, or, you know, maybe it'll be one of those, like, a lot of developers, or, well, back in the day when I used to, you know, buy consoles at launch, you could pick, like, 2 games to go with it. You know, if this is that, you know, one of those games that you'd be like, okay, here's the hardware plus 2 random games, you know, pick 2 games to go with your Series X. Maybe people pick this up. I don't know.
Right.
We'll see.
They're still going to show a lot of stuff off for the Series X too, so I'm sure we'll see more of everything.
Yeah, we'll definitely see more of this. Like I said, the reason I nixed it initially from the show, we had a little bit of extra time, so I figured we'd talk about it a little bit. They had more gameplay footage for it, and I'll put that up in the Discord after this. They had more gameplay footage for it released this week, so that's why I wanted to talk about it again. It looks good. Like, I'm hesitantly optimistic, if that makes sense, for this game.
Hesitantly optimistic.
It's gonna be a good game later.
Yeah. Well, and then, you know, 6 months down the road from now, I'm gonna be like, this fucking game sucks, you know. But, you know, that happens a lot. Anyways, moving right along to the actual, I believe, the unofficial last topic of this evening. Valorant. Good old Valorant. Goes offline today. I don't know when today. Sometime 5/28 is when it's goes offline. But the game actually will launch. News came out officially, so they are taking the servers offline. Game is going to launch full on June 2nd. Couple of fun things. I mean, that just in and of itself, they're taking it off for a week. I don't know. I'll just go through my little notes here. Like I have so many things I want to say, like I can't even. I don't know. So I'll just read my notes. June 2nd launch. Some of the things that they were talking about in their news articles that they released with it is that they were talking about the bans and things like that with their anti-cheat. So far, they said that they have held off on auto bans. So far, it has always been a review system, but moving forward, now that they have kind of locked in how the system works and how it identifies bans and things like that, or identifies cheaters, they're not going to put it through a review committee. They feel like they have it now, and they kind of had, I feel like they kind of already had an idea in beta of how well it worked. Now they are pretty much sure where, hey, we're sure that if the system identifies you as cheating, we're going to auto ban you. So when the Vanguard system now moving forward finds you as cheating, you're going to be kind of auto banned. So that's going to be moving forward when they relaunch it. Obviously, you can probably argue and all this and that, but they're to a point now, thanks to the beta, that they feel like their Vanguard system is good enough to analyze when somebody's cheating and when it's not, that they can institute the auto ban, which is the second half of that. We saw some people cheating and they have been manually banning, but that has been due to an actual committee of people reviewing reports and the Vanguard system going to them and them going, oh, yes, this is an actual ban. So internally, they said, hey, the Vanguard system, 99% of the time, the Vanguard system says that somebody's been cheating. We've reviewed it and it's been accurate. So they're going ahead with the other half of that system, which is auto banning certain discrepancies. Also, they will be instituting on launch on June 2nd, automatic chat analysis for violations, which I think is great, especially as a streamer. If automatic chat analysis of community code and also, what's the word? Punishments for both regular offenses and also repeat offenses. So if you report somebody, they're instituting the system now, and they feel like it's well enough set up where it can analyze the chat. And obviously, if it's something that's been filtered out or things like that, it can analyze the chat and be like, hey, this person is obviously harassing. We're going to give them a temporary, chat ban, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And also escalation therefore of. So they're instituting the auto system of that because they feel like it's in a good enough place where it can do that it doesn't have to go to somebody that has a backlog of 5,000 other cases of chat harassment cases. So that's cool that they're instituting that. Playing in with that 72-hour restrictions to start with that if you are accused of it. So you have a 72-hour chat ban, both in TeamSpeak and in text chat. At launch, new servers, so that way everybody, including Undercard, who normally has even higher ping than I do, we can all get down to 35 ping. Undercard normally has like 120 ping, or if not more, when playing Valorant. I don't know. The same reason, I don't know why I normally run 80. Like, I have high-end internet, everything. Like, and that's the thing. So they have a whole list of server and regions that they are adding, that they are bringing online for launch. That way they want to get everybody, especially in the States, but also in the international market, as close to 35 millisecond is their goal. They want 35 millisecond ping for as many people as possible. I normally average about 80, which I never understood. I don't get how in Central Florida, but they're adding an extra Atlanta server, so maybe I'll be going there, reading through it. But that's something they're also adding with launch on June 2nd. New maps, new skins, and a new agent coming. Not necessarily right away with launch, but shortly thereafter. All of those things. And then also a possible alternate mode as well is the other thing, because they are trying to listen to the community, and the community said, hey, this game is very stressful. It would be nice if we could play it, but not be as stressed for an hour-long period when it goes to 25 rounds. So, which will be nice. So that ideally will be live at launch. They didn't say what it was, but that is something that they're working on and trying to bring. I don't know what, maybe they're going to bring Halo, fucking whatever, the grav hammer and football. I don't know. So, but they are looking into that, a little bit more laid back kind of modes to the game. So that's all the news about Valorant.
I'm excited still. I've been I don't know. I watched the whole thing about Shroud talking about how it's not ready for release and everything and all that, but luckily I'm a casual player, so it's like I'm still excited regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the chat like harassment thing is huge.
That's huge.
That's
Yeah, because I played the healer like once and I was like, yep, never again. Nope, leave me alone.
Yep. And that comes from not only, like, I feel like that stems from where we talked earlier with both COVID and people doing that, but then also you're bringing over not only a MOBA community from League of Legends maybe trying to play this game, but then also Counter-Strike community trying to play this game, and then also just casuals, because this is like the popular game and most notorious game right now. So you have all these things, and then a lot of these, and I will be the first testament, you bring a lot of fucking Fortnite people who don't play this style of game ever, but they're Fortnite streamers and players that come over, and they're fucking toxic as all hell, and they're coming into this and they're just fucking toxic, and it's just, I just can't stand it. And it's just, I cannot wait for those chat bans. Like, the most satisfying thing is when I would load into Smite and it would pop up with a thing on my screen that said an action has been taken against somebody that you have reported, and that just made me so happy every fucking time, every time. And like, I don't know that Valorant's gonna do that, but just knowing that they are actively taking actions against that type of thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's huge. You know, they're listening to the community. They know they want this game to be a thing, and that's already what I said. That's why I took a step back from it. I already realized like the community and the toxicity, and I felt myself getting there. Not the toxicity part, but I felt myself like getting worked up and yeah, like I was getting grumpy, and even I had people messaging me in Discord going, hey, you okay? Like, do you need a hug? Because I would.
Got a little intense there for a little bit.
Yeah, and, it's just like, if I'm not playing well, this is that, and it balances. So, and it's like, so I knew I was getting there. That's why I cold turkeyed it for about a week and a half. I was like, nope, we're not playing Valorant. But there's, and I get it, and it's nice that they are introducing that alternate mode, because it is a fun game. I will, unless something changes, I probably still will personally only play ranked offline unless I get to like high-end stats, and then maybe I'll stream that. But I don't want to deal with. I've gone down that road with Smite when I was Diamond, and dealing with chat telling me how to do things better or worse, and I don't, the backseat gaming, I can't stand it, and that was a thing already with Valorant. It's only going to get worse, so I will only be playing casual unless I get to like Pred or whatever Pred is in Valorant, whatever. I really hope they re-rank the top rank in Valorant to something else, because being Valorant in Valorant is the most stupid fucking classification ever.
That sounds lame.
It is the stupidest fucking thing ever. That is the high-end thing. It's like Diamond, Plat, Diamond, Valorant. What rank
No.
are you? I'm Valorant. No, I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about your rank. Yeah, I'm Valorant. Like, I just, it's so fucking stupid.
It's so lazy.
Yeah, it's so dumb. So I hope that they rename that. But I mean, if I get back up into like Diamond or whatever, yada yada, then I might stream that. But then I can also be like, hey, I'm gonna ignore you, chat, because I'm Diamond for a reason, you know. But I've dealt with that toxicity before in MOBAs and all that, so I know how it works. So that's why I took a step back. But honestly, the changes, the Vanguard system, I think, is huge. Also, the fact that they're now comfortable enough, which we have talked on and off about the Vanguard system, and I know even in my community, there are people who like it and hate it. You know, I personally, I have no issue with Vanguard. I appreciate it for what it is. I get it. And they're, in my opinion, they're very forthcoming with it. Their whole article with this whole thing that I released was, hey, there were issues, we fixed them. There were issues with Vanguard blocking fans and drivers, things like that. We fixed them. Like, you know, it seems like they are working with the community as much as possible, and yet still making the program work against cheaters. And I'm okay with it. You know.
Right.
Fortnite had something has something very similar that works for them. So.
Yeah. And like so many people like bitch about, you know, the fact that it's kernel side or whatever, but it's like I'd rather have that than dealing with cheaters every fucking game, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, at the end of the day, and I've always said, like I said, I argue with people in my community all the time about it. It's like, I'd rather, you know, if you don't want it, you know, disable it and then just restart your computer. How long does it take, you know, to restart your computer in this day and age with SSDs and all that? Like everybody is running an SSD. If you want to disable Vanguard for whatever reason until you play the game, disable it, you know, when you come up. And then when you want to play Valorant, restart your PC. It takes 30 seconds tops from you clicking restart to being back, you know, in your OS, you know, main screen, you know, with SSD. So I personally, I don't get the gripe. But auto bans being a thing is great. I think that it's awesome that they feel comfortable enough in their system that they're ready to roll that out. You know, they're ready to be like, hey, everything that our Vanguard reported as being a cheater, you know, 90% of it or whatever, like those were actual people cheating. So we're comfortable enough rolling out an automated system of it controlling it. And I think that's awesome. Because then we are able to report that end game and be like, hey, this person's wall hacking or whatever. And the system will analyze it and be like, yes or no, and just be done with it.
What do you think the new agent's going to be like?
I don't know. I feel like new agent, if they're bringing a new one, is going to be more support sided. I feel
We need another healer.
maybe not like healer, but more like something like armor wise, or you know, you got to have that support person that might be able to repair. We don't have anybody that can repair armor or maybe add armor or anything like that right now. So I feel like that's the next addition. Like we have a lot of offensive, we have this and that. Sage is the only healer right now, but she straight heals and has a lot of area control utility. I feel like somebody who might be more like, you know, being able to repair armor or things like that. Maybe not like give armor, because if you don't buy armor, that would be OP, like round one. That would be way overpowered. But like repair armor or something like that, I feel like that might be the next agent. I feel like that's the area that we're lacking in the game right now, is that support that can repair like armor or like control in a certain way. You know, like I can imagine like an armor repair with like a turret or something like that. You know, somebody who can have like
a Gibby in Apex.
Yeah, it's something, you know, there's somebody who has, you know, I imagine like the next character being like a mix between like a Cypher and a Sage, you know, but like armor wise. or and then whatever the little guy with the turret is in Overwatch. The angry little guy.
With the turret.
The angry little guy with the turret in Overwatch, like Torbjorn or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't know.
It's like the candy, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever the fuck is that? Like that's what I imagine. Like I don't know. Like they haven't released anything. They haven't said anything. I've looked, but that's like I feel like that's a thing coming soon because that's like the one area they haven't really touched on is having they have. You have cameras, you have area control, you have slows, you have this and that, but they don't have like either an automated defense or like an armor repair. And armor is a thing. And for the style of game was, I think somebody having an armor repair is something that maybe not necessarily needed, but if they're adding other utility to the game, I feel like that's a thing. And that's my guess.
That would be interesting. I'd like to see that. I think I've seen some like leaked pictures, but I don't know, if they're legit.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize I didn't realize that you have played Valorant. Do I remember that? I don't know.
I played a little bit off stream with Nofa and a couple friends.
Mm-hmm.
I've only played like a handful of games, not that many.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's different. The 45-minute game times is a little much.
And that's something yeah, that's something that I honestly would like to see change. Because especially if you have a match, and that's what I said also with XP, with the battle pass and everything, like the most you can get experience wise right now is like 5,200 or something. Like I worked it out. I don't know. It's like around 5,000 experience. And then you have like the experience to get and unlock new things per character, especially like once it relaunches. Like I put a bunch of hours in, like I get the bought cosmetic skins, but I hope that it doesn't reset my Omen ghost skin because I put like 200 hours in to the beta getting that skin. And because you can only get like 5,000 per match, and every match, the max that you can get 5,000 per match is if you go 25 rounds, which could be a 45-minute to an hour-long match. I think it would be nice if it was like, they maybe not halved it, but 3/4'd it. Like it's a
mission or something.
Yeah, like it's a race to 19. Maybe make it 9 rounds on each side instead of 12. Like it is really fucking long every match. And then if you have people that DC, you have people that give up. Like it's.
I had so many people who were just AFK, just sitting there.
Yeah, and that happens. And it's just a really long. It's 40. The quickest match you'll ever get in Valorant is if you're just one-siding it, and even that, it's half an hour. Like, and I get it. Like
Time flies so much in that game.
Oh no, it does, definitely it does. But then like you look at the clock and you're like, fuck, it's like it's 45 minutes later, and it's just it would be nice. Like I think 25 rounds at the most is too much. I think
it's too much.
I think it's just a little too long. I think maybe even 21 rounds at the most. Maybe bring it down to 10. Like even that would be a good starter. Like that's still saving you at 3. You're looking at max 3 minutes a round because of the plant and everything. Let's say they planted and at the very end and got the extra time. You're looking at 3 minutes a round. You're saving 5. That's 15 minutes saved. Just by going to 20 to 21, 20 to 21 at most. You're saving 15 minutes off the most match. Like, I think that's definitely something that they should look at because...
They're too long.
It's so long. It really is. It's insane how long the matches are.
Intermission so everybody can go fucking pee.
Yeah, here's the intermission. Yeah. It's, you play one match, and I get it because... The only reason I'm slightly okay with it is because I come from the mobile mindset of League of Legends and Smite and all that, where you're ranked and all those matches can take half an hour to an hour. I get that. And I'm okay with it because of that, but also this is not that style of game. Like,
no, this
is
it should not. It's supposed to be a little faster.
It should not be this fucking long. It should not be an hour-long endeavor to play this. Like, you win, lose, whatever. I don't know. It's a long fucking game,
My streams have gone by so fast.
Oh yeah, I did a 4-hour stream and I played 4 games.
Yeah, you play 4 games and you're done. Like you're just like, oh, okay, it's time to end, guys. Like, oh, whatever. Like, it's which is cool. Like they go by fast, but it's definitely, I think it's just a little too long.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's it. That's the end of my rambling. Any other questions from you guys? Any thing before I check? I don't see anything.
Kind of want to play some Valorant.
I don't know how long the servers are going to be up. We can try. I don't know.
I think we should, because I mean, let me see here. I'm gonna look and see.
I don't have anything. Chat. Nobody posted anything in the live Q&A this week, so speak now or forever hold your peace. All the links for the couple things that I said video-wise are there up in the Discord. But, of course, you could type now in chat if you have any questions about any things that we covered this week. Or just in general, if you guys have any questions about stuff, go ahead and mention them right now in chat. Otherwise, we're going to kind of just wrap it up here as we're finishing up. Me, myself, and I... KdogAfterDark, KdogAfterDark Gaming on everything, guys. And you can hear me ramble and look at all the random pictures of me with a beard on Instagram, which is my one post this month. But otherwise, Undercard, where can everybody find you?
Undercard 1290 on everything.
Everything. Instagram, Twitter, Mixer.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
OnlyFans.
I mean, I'm not gonna deny it.
He just smiles. He just smiles. He's like, if you want to search it, there might be feet pics. There might be feet pics. Yeah, I'm not.
It when you follow me on
yeah, exactly. Else. Yeah, that's a $7.99 sub. That's a little bit different.
I DM you the link after I see you followed everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, you unlock that once you follow everything else. Took. What about you? Where can everybody find you?
Instagram, Twitter, Mixer. It's the full took on everything.
And I meant to ask, Took. When can they find you as well? Schedule-wise.
I stream 4 hours almost every night, except for Mondays and Wednesdays, except for today. It's special.
Yay!
I stream
Thank you.
from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Mountain Time.
7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Mountain Time. I don't know what time that is. But it's about 2 hours behind me. All right. 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Mountain Time every day except Monday, Wednesdays. You said
yes.
Right? Except Monday, Wednesdays. I remember. I can reiterate. I can talk back. And then Undercard, you changed up your schedule a little bit. What's your new schedule?
It's kind of the same. 9 p.m. Pacific, except for Mondays and Fridays.
Is it actually Pacific? I thought you had your own time zone.
I always say mountain, but it's the same as Pacific.
Okay. But you're in Arizona. You don't abide by...
See, that's the thing. Like, it's just I don't
times.
abide by it, but it's still the same. Like, I don't know.
I thought you like sometimes
people make me so confused about it, and I live here. Like,
yeah, I just learned this like that one time when it changed, and you were like, oh wait, it's an extra hour or whatever. Like when we had that issue. That's all I remember. Is like, well, wait, no, it's an extra hour back because of Arizona being.
We just don't recognize it basically, so nothing changes essentially.
Got it.
Like. But people get, I don't know. But it changes for everybody else. So like let me put it this way. Like the week after that happening, everybody comes in my stream right when I start, and they're like, "Wow, you're early." Like, and it's just like 20 people saying it. I'm like, I'm not early. Like it's like.
So wait, you said your mountain time as well, Took. So you're the same scenario where you have that like mountain time that people don't abide and people do, or I don't know, like actually, Arizona.
You know what? Oh, I see what you're saying. So, I'm reading right now on Google. So I'm Pacific time, but like I'm normally Mountain time, but because of that time change, I'm now Pacific time.
Yeah, it's like it's a weird thing where sometimes you are 3 hours behind, but sometimes you're 2.
So I guess only parts of the year I'm Mountain time, and then other parts of the year I'm Pacific time.
Yeah, that's why it's like it's weird. I'm like I don't know. Like he is sometimes, but not.
During daylight saving time from March to November, most of Arizona has the same time as Pacific time zone. So just from March to November, essentially, I'm Pacific time. But then after that, I'm back to Mountain time. So it's weird, man.
Nobody knows what mountain time is anyway. So.
Yeah, I
Right,
did.
exactly. Anytime I bring it up,
It's
I'm like,
either
"What?"
Eastern or Pacific. Like,
It's
like,
this
it's
little
just,
sliver
like
that
make it.
creeps up the map, and I'm like right in the middle of it, down at the bottom, and it's just like this one little
Yeah.
spot. And it's
Are
like
you
mountain time.
Eastern or Pacific? And then it's like, oh, you know, and then the same thing. Like if I go back to Chicago and all that, and it's like I don't even know what that is. Like Central Time. Central Time is what it's called, if I remember correctly. But then it's like Central, Mountain, Pacific. So it's like I'm an hour behind when I go back home, and then it's still like I don't know. It's weird. I don't know.
Zones are
I
weird.
hate time zones.
Yeah, time zones are
dumb.
Time zones are fucking dumb. Anyways, chat, anything? I like cows. I like cows too. I don't know. Otherwise, that's pretty much everything, guys. You heard it all from these lovely people. Undercard, pleasure having you as always as the co-host rambling on here with me.
Pleasure
Took,
as always.
pleasure having you actually on the web show and not just hanging out in chat. You know,
Yes.
Took's always good about hanging out and like chat at least for a little bit. You're up late and I appreciate that as well. I know you're not. It's past, not always past your bedtime, but it's kind of past your
No.
bedtime. Yeah. You know?
It's my. You should go the fuck to bed.
Yeah, it's like you're. Yeah, it's like I've been up.
You have to wake up at 6.
Yeah, I should be in bed right now, but every once in a while I'm up right now. So thank you for hanging out and being on the show. Everybody else in chat, I don't think there's anything else that we haven't covered. So thank you guys. We're gonna officially end the web show / podcast / YouTube, whatever video, whatever you want to fucking call it, and we'll move on to whatever happens afterwards. So. Everybody in chat, say bye. Everybody, you undercard, everybody wave, say bye. Have a good time. Don't do anything I wouldn't. And we'll see you guys next week with... Who the fuck is on next week? Afea. Afea is on next week. So I'll see you guys next week, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Not any of those weird fucking time zones. 11 p.m. Eastern time next week is Afea on the web show. I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Don't do anything I wouldn't. And yeah. Wait. And...